Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching. Hello, freaks. How's it going? How was the Thanksgiving? That was alright. You know, taking a night off, you know, with such a poor month going on, it's tough because then it's like you're even further behind. So, yeah, I was thinking of maybe coming on yesterday, but then I thought, hell. Yeah, but we had we actually tried doing like a Popeyes turkey where you have to cook. They already cook it, I guess, but it's frozen. Then you heat it up, and then I don't know. Seemed like it was pretty good. I think it was kind of worth it. You didn't have to do all the time brining it, and you know. That looks like another dead crowd again. Hey, look at that. It's Tracy. Haven't seen you in about 8 months, maybe a year. I don't know. Let's see. It's already nobody's chatting. So what'd you guys do? We had some kind of a pumpkin cheesecake. Something like that. I'm just waiting for people to start typing. You know, it's just so dead. That's why it's not fun really doing the shows anymore. Nobody's commenting. It's just 8 people, and it's like, I don't know what the deal is. Sometimes I mean, this is what sucks. Is I literally, some nights I dread doing a show. You know, I mean, isn't that a shitty way to be? Because you sit there and you go, man, will anybody support my channel tonight? Will it be another one of these? You know, and it's just kind of like, I'm always relegated to asking 1,000 times, and it's got to the point where it's just sort of, you know, it just doesn't feel great. Yeah, well, I need the moderators to be in the chat doing stuff, so. Yeah, old daughter's Popeye turkey at it. Yeah, well, you got to let it thaw out for like 3 or 4 days, you know. So you let it thaw out, and then yeah, about this cool thing. I watched this Asian lady online preparing a Popeye's chicken, and she talked about this thermometer that you can put into the. You put it in, and it's got a wire on it, and then it just sort of sits outside your oven. And it was cool because, like, I put it in there, and it was 33 degrees, right? And then for like 20 minutes, it was still 33, and then 34, 35, and then it literally, once it gets to the, like, you just set the number, like, oh, we need to heat it up to 140. You know, because it's already been cooked, I guess. But it's hard to do what they said because it was already at 140 after less time than what they said. But it goes, a little alarm goes off once it hits the number on this little red device. It's pretty cool. Like, you don't have to keep opening it up the oven and putting it in and checking the temperature. You just put it in once. God, I think it was only like, I don't know, $15 or something. But anyways, if you guys could please help support the channel tonight. Here we go again, asking again. We're just trying to, you know, had a real struggle of a month. And yesterday, because I didn't do a show, I think $67 total came in from, you know, memberships and ad revenue. And that means we're another, you know, way behind again. And so we're just trying to limp into the, I mean, I'm not even expecting donation night to be good. This is about what the turnout is on that. Yeah. So you can probably sense how this is just the way it's been feeling. You know, if I was out there peddling bullshit, you know, theories and stuff, I could do well, but I'm just not going to do it. Yeah, it was pretty fun, you know. I didn't eat it. I tried not to eat a ton. Like, just keep stuffing. I don't even think I went back and got seconds. But it was pretty good. Right. Yeah, I'm not eating any. I always tell her to just give all the rest of the food back to somebody else. Because, you know, it's like it's hard to not eat something when it's sitting there, you know. The stuffing, mashed potatoes and gravy, etc. Yeah, so is there any chance you guys can help support the channel tonight? Put a 1 if there's you guys will. You know, I'm just trying to get the ball rolling here, you guys. We're at 0, all the way across. And there's Brooke. All right. Yeah, it's hard to keep on keeping on when it's just so, you know, depressing for me. You know, like it was. I don't know. It was great. Yesterday. It felt great. You know, I've always done these shows, and I'm kind of, you know, was excited to do them, and it's getting to the point where it's too hard with so many people, and if you're doing it the right way, you get killed. You have to sell a conspiracy, or you're screwed. Hey, thanks, C Daily. Anyways, let's just do the. I'll just do the Candace Owens stuff first. Gray, have a positive. I don't know, man. I'm just telling you, this is how I feel, you know? You guys want me to pretend, hey, everybody, and have this stupid face on? I'm not a cheerleader type, you know, where there's, you know, these cheerleaders, you're down 55-0, and they're got a big shit-eating grin on their face because they can plaster it on their face. I'm not one of those people. I've never been able to fake happiness or any emotion. It just is what it is, you know. Right. So here we go. But I'm just gonna. Well, what do you want to do first? Maybe we'll do the updates on the DC terror attack. So I have that. Did you guys see the press conference from yesterday? Because I actually boosted up the audio on the questions because you couldn't hear them at all if you were just watching it. I mean, I had boosted it up 25 decibels and it's still lower than, I mean, I don't even know. There was 0 waveform on there. And you can hear it now. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, yes, we have, Max. We did a whole show on it the other night. Try to show up every once in a while. Let's see. We've got... I'm just kidding. Yeah, we did a whole show on it, though. You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just... You guys want to just listen to this, or... I always get crushed during these during these playbacks, but let's just see how it goes. All right, here we go. I'm not sure what Janine's laughing at right here.
All right. Come on,
Must
Mayor.
have been something they were already talking about.
Come on, Mayor.
Okay.
Next to me, Mayor. All right, Alicia, you know where to go. Where's Blanchard? There he is. Okay, good. You know, it seems like we've been here before. Is this working?
Oh, by the way, it was kind of weird because today I was watching just, those shorts. And these guys are firing like these little pistols, not little, I mean, whatever they are, Glocks or something. And they're shooting them. And one of them, he just ejects, clears the chamber, and a bullet, how they shoot out, and it hits the ground and it goes, it literally like hit the ground in a way where it fired the bullet on the ground. I mean, that is freaky. So I sent Paramount Tactical I go, what's going on here? How does this happen? And he goes, I've only seen it happen once, but what happens is it's omnidirectional force. So because the shell isn't being held in the pistol, where then the bullet goes out, right? So when it's loose like that, it just the energy is dispersed. I'm not sure if it has enough energy to kill with the bullet exiting. Maybe it just kind of goes and just kind of stays in one spot. But man, when I watched that, I was like, that's creepy. So you could just be out there at a range and eject a bullet. It flips out, hits the ground, and fires. I mean, that's probably not that common, I'm sure. But anyways, here we go.
This on? Where's... It's working? All right. Thank you all for being here on this difficult day. As you know, my name is Janine Pirro. I am the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, and I am joined here by several individuals who represent agencies who have been working around the clock since this horrific event happened. To my left, we have the director of the FBI. We have General Leland Blanchard of the National Guard. Mayor Bowser is here as well. We have Frank Saldana of the DEA, Chris Hecht of DHS, Executive Assistant Chief Jeffrey Carroll of the MPD, Darren Cox of the Washington FBI Field Office, and a Special Agent in Charge, Samuel Ward of the ATF in Washington. Now, I want to provide you with an update on the tragic shooting that occurred on two brave members of the West Virginia National Guard as they served in Washington, D.C. Unfortunately, today, as most families join together to give thanks for the blessings that have been bestowed upon them, two families are shattered and destroyed and torn apart as a result of the actions of one man. First and foremost, our hearts go out to the victims and their families. These are dedicated service members who were performing their duties in service to our nation, and they are currently in critical condition. They have undergone surgery. We pray.
Yeah, but as we know now, the female officer, she died because he actually shot her in the torso. This is I think on the 26th, and we didn't do a show yesterday, so now I'm just playing this. And then the killer, he went right up to her face and like shot her in the face. I mean, it's crazy.
For their well-being as they continue to be cared for in the best possible way. We have been in constant contact with their families and have provided them with every resource needed during the...
Do you mind if we just get to the stuff about the shooter later? We're just trying to go back in time to play this, you guys. It's like it's so frustrating when it's like, oh yeah, everybody, hey, and you're just getting too in depth about the shooter, etc. When we're just trying to... I mean, just do whatever the hell you want. I really don't give a shit anymore.
This difficult time. The two National Guards men that we're talking about are Sarah Beckstrom, who's 20 years old, and Andrew Wolf, who is 24 years old.
So Sarah
they were
away.
Uniformed members of the West Virginia National Guard, and they were in D.C. to keep D.C. safe, pursuant to President Trump's executive order to make D.C. safe and beautiful. They answered the call, they took the charge, they volunteered, they put their lives on the line for people they don't even know. And that, unfortunately, is becoming a reality more and more for the members of law enforcement. Yesterday on Thanksgiving Eve at approximately 2:15, near 17th and I Streets in the northwest section of the district, near the Farragut West Metro Station, two uniformed guards.
Yeah, by the way, how long do you think it's going to take for Candace Owens to associate some element of this to the Charlie Kirk shooting? I think it'll, somebody put down in Twitter exactly what I was thinking too. Like, they're going to use it as she'll use it as, it's a deflection. We were getting too close. We were getting too close to the truth. So they created this sort of false flag operation. I mean, it's so stupid.
Guardsmen
You know
were
she's going to do it.
ambushed in a brazen and targeted attack. A lone gunman opened fire without provocation, ambush style, armed with a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver.
Yeah, those are really like powerful pistols. I mean, revolvers.
One guardsman is struck, goes down, and then the shooter leans over and strikes the guardsman again. Another guardsman is struck several times. Fellow guardsmen who were there responded immediately, engaging the suspect, neutralizing the threat, and subduing him at the scene. He was transported to a local hospital where he remains, as we speak, under heavy guard. Thanks to the swift and coordinated response of the National...
All right, guys, we're playing the video here. If you guys could please help support the channel while we're playing it, that would be fantastic. My channel relies on you guys, and as you can tell, we're in the midst of one of those massive lulls again, and really struggling.
National Guard and the Metropolitan Police Department. No additional victims were harmed, and the scene was secured within minutes. The suspect, he has been identified as Ramanullah Lakhanwal, a 29-year-old Afghan who entered the United States under Biden's Operation Allies Welcome, a program following the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. He resided in Bellingham, Washington, with his wife and, we believe, 5 children.
That's a lot of kids. See, that whole population, just pump out as many kids as you can. And then the next generation, let's see. I don't know. I mean, it's sort of a weird thing because, there were these Afghanistan people that were helping the U.S. while we were there. And then when Biden just kind of goes, okay, we're leaving now. I mean, there was all these people that their lives are absolutely in danger, right? Because they were helping the United States while we were there. And I remember thinking, yeah, that's cool. Let's bring, I think everybody was thinking that. Like, that's what the, Republicans were always saying too. Like, yeah, we can't leave these people there that risked their lives to save us. So this is one of those people. Right? But, I don't know how well people are vetted. I mean, one of the things you could think about is, like, does he have any family members still back in Afghanistan or something? And if he does have family in Afghanistan, do the Taliban have leverage on him to do something? Or something will happen to those other family members? Who the hell knows what's going on in a situation like this? But it's kind of creepy, because at one point he was helping us kill other Afghanistan individuals, but now it seems like he's kind of sort of I think I read somewhere where he's sort of regretting that part of it. So I mean, but I don't know. He drove, like I said originally. That's crazy. He's from Bellingham, Washington. That's a 3,000-mile drive. And it doesn't even seem like it was well planned out. You know what I mean? Like, he just sort of shows up and, just sort of shoots to, it seems like it's significant that it's so close to the White House and in Washington, D.C.
And we're working very closely with our federal partners, especially DHS and the FBI to review his immigration history and the vetting process itself.
No, they talk about we do know in the United States. I've seen it on the news. If you're watching, there's like Fox News has had people on that actually know what he did.
What we know about him is that he drove his vehicle across country from the state of Washington with the intended target of coming to our nation's capital. As we stand here today, the charges that are appropriate right now are 3 counts of assault with intent to kill while armed, a violation of D.C. Code.
What does that mean, Misty Shores? Ish about Candace. But I know turning point was, what does that even mean? That sentence there, I have no clue what that means.
Code 22-401 and D.C. Code 22-4502. He will also be charged with possession of a firearm during a crime of violence. He faces 15 years under the assault with the intent to kill. We intend to continue monitoring what the charges will be, depending upon the well-being of the guardsmen.
Yeah, well, it's been modified to first-degree murder.
We are praying that they survive and that the highest charge will not have to be murder in the first degree. But make no mistake, if they do.
But see, my belief is that attempted murder in the first degree should have the same punishment as murder in the first degree. Because you just got lucky. I've said this 1,000 times, but I think that if you have the mindset to try to kill somebody in the first degree, plan it out and plot it, and it just didn't, he didn't pull it off, why should you get a deal? I mean, you should get the same exact, I would even say the death penalty. I don't really give a shit. Or maybe you take the death penalty, can't be, but life without parole is like really easily, like that's the one, right? I mean, because if you didn't kill somebody, maybe your life shouldn't be taken. But at the same time, you shouldn't get like, well, we'll give him 15 years, you'll out in 5. No, this guy is a cold-blooded, they're killers,
They do not. That will certainly be the charge, murder in the first degree. The Department of Justice, under Attorney General Pam Bondi, is committed to a thorough and an impartial investigation where we will hold this perpetrator accountable under the full weight of the law.
I don't think so.
Now, Sarah and Andrew volunteered. They came here to protect the people of the district, pursuant to a crime emergency that President Trump rightly declared in this city and in other cities across the country. Our nation's capital should not and must not be a place where evil comes to commit violence, whatever their cause or motive may be. We should not have to live in fear in the nation's capital, especially by one who came here from a foreign country. Through a process that was so absurd that he came through and released into this country, as many were, knowing virtually nothing about his vetting. This is what happens in this country when people are allowed in who are not properly vetted. These guardsmen and all who are here to protect the district are the line that separates a civilized society from a barbaric one. They are the ones who stand for law and order. This was not just an attack. It was a direct challenge to law and order in our nation's capital. And the individual will be made fully accountable. And though it seems that we have been here before under President Trump, make no mistake, and the Attorney General, we will not allow this to be normalized. It will be confronted, condemned, and prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Now, my message to the individual who committed these acts is you picked the wrong target, the wrong city, and the wrong country, and you will be sorry for the violence and the evil that you perpetrated in our nation's capital. And now I call upon the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thanks, Judge. I'll begin my remarks and my remarks the same way, with prayer for our fallen soldiers
All right, you guys, as you can see, we're having those massive lulls again. Like I said before, whenever we do these press conferences, there's zero support for the channel. So my channel, unlike the other ones, I rely on the people watching the shows to help support the channel since there is no ad revenue on these shows. Then, at the end of the month, even when there's crappy months like this one, I try to still donate thousands of dollars to true crime related charities, etc. And the only way that happens, especially during these times where hardly anybody's watching my videos, hardly anybody shows up to the live streams, I don't know, it just sort of something happened right after the Charlie Kirk stuff where all of a sudden the only one of the few people telling the truth out there got absolutely crushed by YouTube, and I need your guys' support. So we keep having these long lulls. It's almost as if nobody heard what I was saying. It's pretty wild. I have no idea. It's crazy.
Prayer for our law enforcement
This is
community.
what I'm talking
prayer for our
about. This is
National
why I'm
Guardsmen and women,
getting
prayer
discouraged
for our
even
brave
doing the
prosecutors
shows.
at the Department of Justice and the offices
Never used
of
to
the
be a
DC
problem.
United States Attorney. We must come together as a nation, especially on this Thanksgiving Day, and remember the sacrifices that so many are making around the world and around this country to secure our freedoms under President Trump's brilliant leadership and administration. I'll provide an update on the case as follows. It is an ongoing investigation of terrorism. Make no mistake about it.
I'm just going to listen to this guy, and I'll skip it through the other people, thanking everybody, and then we'll listen to the questions.
The FBI is leading out on this federal assault on a federal law enforcement officer investigation on many fronts. We immediately, with our law enforcement partners in the Metropolitan Police Department and the interagency, secured the scene, seized the weapon, sent in our evidence response.
Hey, look at that, you guys. Wild Bill Wassman has a challenge. Apparently, what I say doesn't seem to resonate with anybody, but if you guys can donate 5 memberships, then Wild Bill Wassman will match that 5, and then we'll have 10. That would be awesome. Thanks, Wild Bill Wassman.
Response team immediately to collect evidence and started doing block by block canvasses. We are looking for and interviewing witnesses. The firearm and other materials have been sent to our Quantico laboratory already yesterday for immediate analysis. That work is ongoing. Partnering with the DC United States Attorney's Office, we have also executed multiple search warrants.
And these have to be the gifted memberships, or even $5 donation counts as a membership. I mean, it's the same denomination.
Around the country,
now, if that was
to include the
freak,
subject's last known residence, which is in the state of Washington. The search warrant was executed on that house last night or early this morning, and it
hold on, where is this?
The subject's last known residence, which is in the state of Washington. The search warrant was executed on that house last night or early this morning, and it is an ongoing process. All the individuals found in the house have been interviewed, and some interviews
Did you guys see Wild Bill Wassman's challenge there? We need 5 memberships.
Remain ongoing. We will not stop until we interview anyone and everyone associated with the subject, the house, and every piece of his life. There's also subject interviews relations conducted in San Diego pursuant to our ongoing investigation. So, as the judge noted, this is a coast-to-coast investigation being led right here in Washington, D.C. And this subject definitely did pick the wrong country. And we will rise together as a nation to show the world what we do here. And we are thankful that we have the Attorney General's brave leadership and President Trump's brave leadership and priorities to safeguard our communities. I also spoke to Director of the CIA, John Ratcliffe, last night, and Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. There is confirmation now that the subject had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces. We are fully investigating that aspect of his background as well, to include any known associates that are either overseas or here in the United States.
And welcome again, Stephen. And also look at Juror 13. There's 1. Now we need 4 more, you guys.
States of America. That is what a broad-based international terrorism investigation looks like. We will provide continuous details to the American public while at the same time not jeopardizing the ongoing prosecution to ultimately hold this perpetrator accountable in our courts of law. We will provide as much...
I don't know. You just went crazy and drove 3,000 miles over a 6-day period.
...transparency as possible, but as you can see, the breadth and scope of this investigation will continue. We will we will continue to hit the streets and hit every town and every house and talk to every witness. The men and women of the FBI and the Metropolitan Police Department and the interagency, to include the Department of Homeland Security, DEA, and ATF, are working tirelessly on this Thanksgiving Day. And I know just by talking to the leaders behind me that instead of going on and being with their families, everyone rogered up and showed up to work today. And none of them want to go home. That's the resolve that we have together as a team to bring to you justice for this heinous act of terrorism here in our nation's capital. And as the judge said, we will ensure that our law enforcement partners are out there in full force to make sure the world can enjoy our nation's capital. We will not let this heinous act of violence prevent people from visiting our beautiful nation's capital. And we will also continue to highlight any evidence that we can publicly. And as the judge said, this individual is in this country for one reason and one reason alone: because of the disastrous withdrawal from the Biden administration and the failure to vet anyway, in any way, shape, or form, this individual and countless others. And this administration has taken the rightful step to stop any further allowance of people with this similar background into the country, and we're thankful for that. And as I said, this.
Do you guys see up above? We have Wild Bill Wassman made a challenge. If you guys donate 5 channel memberships, he'll donate 5 by himself. So we currently have 1. All right. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it's up there. We need 4 more.
This investigation remains ongoing, and I think I'll turn it over to General Blanchard of the
That means that's 2 for 1 on your part.
National Guard now. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. All across America this morning, families are waking up.
Yes, I don't want to listen to this guy or her. Definitely not her. Maybe we'll go back to this one.
Okay. I also want to say that both Sarah and Andrew, I believe, were sworn in less than 24 hours
That's crazy.
before they were shot
Think about that.
on the street in Washington. Any questions?
Hey, thanks, Steven. All right, there's 2. We need 3 more, you guys.
Could you drill down on a possible motive? Have you got any information or intelligence on a possible motive for the shooting?
You know,
See, like, those are so quiet. I mean, you wouldn't have believed that. Like, this question here didn't even register on the... I mean, if you could just have to, like, barely hear something. So now you can hear it, at least.
On a possible motive. Have you got any information and intelligence on a possible motive for the shooting?
you know, as the directors indicated, this is a fluid investigation. People are working around the clock. It's too soon to say what the motive is, but there are definitely areas that we're looking into, but not ready to say.
Attorney, can you characterize a little bit about how the assailant was taken down after he opened fire?
Yeah, he got shot
But by another...
by another guardsman, yeah.
And you mentioned earlier that he had, the shooter had initially shot one of the guardsmen, then leaned over as they were
Shot him again. Yep.
How many shots are we?
Well, the specific number, look, he had a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver. Okay, so I believe that's a 6-shooter. Yeah. So, you know, that kind of tells us how many shots he had. Yes.
Judge, you had mentioned we've been here before because we have. It was May when we were last here.
Yeah.
I want to ask if you could please comment to, obviously, we understand that you're saying this is under the Biden administration, and the words are that it was a failed withdrawal, and what happened there. There are people who are also upset with the president believing that the National Guard members should not even have been there if it were not for the executive order.
I don't even want to talk about whether they should have been there. We ought to kiss the ground and thank God that the president said it's time to bring in more law enforcement to make sure that a city that had the 4th highest homicide rate in the country was
Where do these people come up with these stupid comments? Like, it's the president's fault because he has put the National Guard in D.C. and, okay, but what about all the lives that he saved because crime went down dramatically? And then, not only that, it's like, it's not his fault that some psycho went and shot him. Okay? That's one of the problems with people in general, is they look for alternate boogeyman. Like, even in, like, the Delphi case, you know, you have two girls that walked across a bridge, just having fun, an old railroad trestle. The trains don't go on anymore. They walk across, and while they're on the other side of the bridge, a guy named Richard Allen catches up to him and forces him down the hill and kills both of them. And then you got these idiots online who are blaming the parents for letting their kids go to a park and go across a bridge. Well, the parents didn't know they went across a bridge. And why is there any blame on the parents at all? It's nothing to do with them. It's the people that you blame are the psychos who do the killing. I get so sick of the sort of, what do you call it, the moral superiority police. All right, guys, we need 3 more channel memberships. All right? Let's focus on that for a minute, because then we can get 5 more from Wild Bill Wassman. All right? That's the only way to make it happen. We're trying to reach goals, and we're not even close yet again. Yeah, it's the shooters is whose fault it is.
That violence was quelled. I'm not even going to go there.
A question for Director Patel. Was the suspect granted asylum, and if so, when did that happen, under which administration, and did authorities miss any signs, either in the asylum process or even back when he reportedly worked for the CIA? If you could talk about that.
Well, you miss all the signs when you do absolutely zero vetting. Then that's exactly what happened in this case. When you, in the prior administration, made the decision to allow thousands of people into this country without doing a single piece of background checking or vetting, that's how you miss every single sign. And Secretary Kristi Noem has put out details specifically related to your other question.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like, you know, the person probably, I don't know if it came down to vetting in this case. Because he's one of the people that I would have been like, okay, yeah, we need to get him over here because he was helping us. And now he'll be executed by the Taliban. You know, he's one of those people. So what happened to him after he got here?
So I'll let that speak for themselves.
Specificity of when he was granted.
You know, was he still communicating with people back home? You know, that's the thing. It's interesting. Like if he has a mother and a father and a brother and a sister that are still over there, and now the Taliban, right now they know exactly who his family is. And, you know, but maybe even before they were aware, and so they threatened him online. If he doesn't do something, they're going to take out his family, something like that. You guys, what's so difficult about tonight just getting to the, Wild Bill Wassman's challenge? We just need 3 more channel memberships. This is exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the show. This is what is so frustrating these days. It's just unbelievable. We've been doing this show for 6 years the same way, and I don't know what the problem is. It's very frustrating.
If or when he was granted asylum, if you could just clarify that timeline and...
Yes, I believe Kristi Noem put that out, and that's a DHS matter, and I'll refer it to them.
Could you elaborate on the investigative steps that were taken in
Sure.
San Diego? You mentioned Bellingham, Washington.
Sure.
Where you live, but could you explain the San Diego connection?
So what happened was, thanks to the quick investigation by the interagency and the FBI, we were able to track down his last known residence. Working with our United States Attorney's offices here and at the Department of Justice and prosecutors across the country, we were able to serve search warrants literally overnight and through the night.
All night.
And we were able to hit the house in Washington State. During that process, we seized numerous electronic devices to include cell phones, laptops, iPads, and other material that is being analyzed as we speak. Pursuant to that investigation and any known associates of the subject and of that house is how we ended up in San Diego, where interviews were conducted and are going to be continued to be conducted. And we will go anywhere in the country or the world where the evidence leads us.
Are there accomplices, relationships in San Diego you can talk about?
All of that is an ongoing investigation.
Can anyone give an update as far as Sarah and Andrew, who were injured? You say critical condition. Can you give anything beyond that? Are they expected to make it? Is it touch and go? Can you tell us a little more about how they're doing?
And the full spelling of their names, please.
It is Sarah Beckstrom, Beckstrom, and Andrew Wolfe with an E, Wolfe. Okay, and Sarah Beckstrom.
How do you spell Sarah?
Oh, S with an H. Okay. Now, with respect to their medical condition, as I said, they are receiving the finest medical care. Their families are with them now. They are critical. I think you understand the meaning of that. It's not clear, how this is going to end up. But let me be perfectly clear about how it will end up in this office. If one of them is to pass, and God forbid that happens, this is a murder one. Period. End of the story. We are praying on a day like today when families come together in America and they hold hands around the Thanksgiving table. I beg you, I beseech you to pray for these two young people that they survive. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Happy.
Yeah, it's so interesting seeing Janine doing this, after all those years, on Fox News. I mean, so many years after she'd already been a judge, and etc. But can you guys, what's going on tonight? I'm trying to figure out why we can't get these 3 channel memberships because, Wild Bill Wasserman put out a challenge, right? And we just need 3 more, and then he'll donate 5. And that's a way to help support the channel. Instead, we're just sitting here struggling and struggling and struggling. And I don't get it, man. I just don't. If I was sitting here peddling a conspiracy theory, I'd have 1,000 people watching, and people would be like, oh, yeah, ding, 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 here you go, here you go. Ooh, look at here's my theory, here's my theory. And I'm just doing regular stuff. And this is exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the show, right here. I shouldn't have to keep asking over and over and over again. It's just, it's not fun for my brain. Okay? It just sucks. And I don't know what else to tell you, Anyways, today's news on this is this one right here. The brother of alleged DC gunman Ramallah Lakanawal was a platoon leader in the same elite CIA-backed Zero unit as his sibling, an ex-official in the squad, said Thursday. Yeah, you guys keep saying hello, 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 but we're not getting anything done in here. Lakanwal, 29, and his brother both served in the southern province of Kandahar, said a resident of the eastern province of Khost, who identified himself as a cousin of the accused shooter, according to Associated Press. While Lakanwal began as a security guard for the unit in 2012, he later ascended to a team leader and GPS specialist, said the cousin. Specialist said the cousin who did not want to be publicly identified. The former official from the unit, who also did not want to be identified, said Lakanwal's brother was a platoon leader, AP reported. Yeah, you only pop in when you have something negative. Yeah, I don't know, man. We have a challenge up there by Wild Bill Wasserman. He put it out there a long time ago. And it's hard to lift spirits when people aren't, it's just sort of same old thing, just slogging along. Sources familiar with the investigation told ABC News Lakanwal has a brother in the United States. He has not been officially identified and has not been accused of wrongdoing. Lakanwal came to the U.S. with his wife and 5 kids during the hasty withdrawal, so I guess he was able to take his kids with him. Lakanwal, who relocated to Washington State, allegedly drove across the country to Washington, D.C., where he opened fire on... He didn't allegedly do anything. He did do that. Where he opened fire on 2 West Virginia National Guard members, killing Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, 20, and critically wounding Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf, 24. Right there. The suspect was shot and wounded when another National Guard member returned fire. He's facing first-degree murder and related federal charges. The 0 unit that Lachenwall was in received backing from the CIA and was involved in clandestine operations during the war in Afghanistan. This is on New York Post. While known for covert missions, the paramilitary units also faced allegations of human rights abuses and were dubbed by activists as death squads. And then there's this one. This is, I don't know, this Times of India is sort of a little bit like the Daily Mail, something like that. Didn't speak English much. DC shooter suspect Ramallah Lachenwall often seen playing video games. Neighbors of 29-year-old Ramallah Lachenwall were aware that the family of Afghan refugees were living in the area, but they never got to know much about the family, as they never made a peep. Their apartment was mostly empty, a neighbor told New York Post. There was no beds and only some cushions to sleep on. Lachenwall had a delivery driver job with Amazon Flex, but as an independent contractor, and was not working lately. His last delivery was recorded to be in August. The 7-member family included 5 children, kept to themselves, and Ramallah was often seen playing Call of Duty and FIFA inside their apartment. Jeez. Lachenwall did not speak much English, a neighbor confirmed. The Lachenwall family had been living in the Bellingham area of Washington State, and Lachenwall drove to D.C. to carry out the attack that is now being probed as a premeditated terror attack. Lachenwall is not cooperating with the agencies, and investigators have not yet pinpointed any motive behind his ambush-style attack. There are certainly many more charges to come, but we are upgrading the initial charges of assault to murder in the first degree. Jean Pirro, the attorney for Washington, D.C., told the Fox News program Fox and Friends. It is premeditated murder. There was an ambush with a gun toward people who didn't know what was coming. Attorney General Pam Bondi promised to, he is premeditated murder. There was an ambush with a gun. So he must have just sort of been, like, I think they said he waited for them around the corner, something like that. Thanks, Bruce Holdaway. Attorney General Pam Bondi promised to seek death penalty for well, it says Moster, but maybe they meant Monster Lachenwall. Lachenwall was allowed to enter the U.S. under Biden's resettlement program for Afghan refugees, as he was part of the 0 units, a CIA-backed Afghan paramilitary force. He was granted asylum earlier this year. A Lachenwall, as he stares at death sentence, now once he's convicted, his family members might be sent back to deportation. That doesn't make any sense. Well, we're looking at that right now. I mean, I could see them being sent back, but they're not sent back to deportation. It's not like it's a deportation isn't a place, you know. As Lachenwall stares at, and then it says, well, we're looking at that right now. We're looking at the whole situation with the family. Tragic situation, Trump said, on being asked about it. Yeah, I don't know, man. At this point, it's one of those things. It's like, you got to figure out why he did what he did before you start sending back the wife and the 5 kids. Because as soon as you send back the wife and 5 kids, because he would be deemed a traitor by the Taliban, they would go ahead and they would probably just execute all 5 of those kids and the wife. And I'm not really into that, you know. I'm not really sure, you know, how that would, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Doesn't sound good to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's basically where you're at. We're at right now. You know, he's worked in a unit. His brother was a security guard in the same unit. I'm not sure if they mentioned that the brother is over here too currently, but you know, I mean, they were helping us out, and that was what was sort of promised, right? I mean, like, hey, you guys help us out, we'll get you out of there. Or maybe, you know, the withdrawal was so half-assed. That's why it was so shitty the way they did it. He just goes, hey, we're going to withdraw today, and just went, and just withdrew, you know. It's like it didn't even, there was no plan, there was nothing. People were falling off of airplanes. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Let's see. It's not uncommon for Afghan here in the U.S. to travel back and forth to Afghanistan on... Right. But that has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about. And Vroom. I'm just talking about the... You know, these are people that we're helping in the battles, and, you know, we offered him asylum over here, but then somehow he ends up being a killer. But you might wonder, did the Taliban have something on him? You know, like threatened if he doesn't do something. Or he just became, you know, disillusioned by the whole thing. He was promised this and that and the other thing, and now he's, you know, got an FBI or a job at Amazon, but it's just sort of not really working, and, you know. Let's see. It was #1 bullshit. Yeah, he looked pretty he looked pretty big in that photograph. That's for sure. And it's gonna be, my screen's gonna get dark for a second. I gotta, yeah, it was already working, so I'm not sure why the, is it not, yeah, like these overlays aren't popping in. They're supposed to be, or is there a different one? Is it this one? Let's see. All right. Well, I'm going to go over to a different topic now. I don't really have anything else to say about this. I tried, Bruce. I don't know what's happening. Just is what it is. Maybe I'll just donate the 5 and hope. I'll support my own show, I guess. It's not uncommon for Afghanis. Yeah, always wondered where the dollars. Who knows? I mean, a lot of times when they're over here, they work and then they get money and then they travel back and then they come back, and yeah, who knows? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it seems like maybe they're they're in a program. Maybe they've got subsidized housing, you know, something where it's much cheaper for them. I mean, I know people that have stuff like that. So, what was it today? Yeah, there it is. All right, I'm gonna read these Candace Owens articles. Like, here's one from USA Today. Right here. Yeah. I'm loath to give any exposure to a far-right grifter who has whipped up outrage by discussing outlandish conspiracy theories, but Candace Owens continues to cross lines, gain followers, and curry favor with the conservative far right, and that is a problem. So here I am, on November 22nd, in just one of a bevy of her unhinged conspiratorial posts. Owens said that a high-ranking employee of the French government contacted her and claimed that the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, and his wife, Brigitte Macron, Owens refers to them as the Macrons, I don't know, paid to have her assassinated. So they're talking about just recently how Candace claims that the Macrons have paid to have her assassinated. For the past year, Owens has been claiming that the French First Lady was born a man, prompting the Macrons to file a defamation lawsuit against her. Owens also said in the post that French were somehow involved in the conservative activist Charlie Kirk's assassination. And you just watch Candace. She will bring up this current shooting in D.C. and sort of correlate it in some way, because she's crazy. Kirk was fatally shot September 10th, and Owens has been posting rants and conspiracy theories about his death since that day. It is America, and Owens is free to speak her mind and earn a living via her grift, but the conservative right should not support her. She is spreading allegations untethered from reality, has been openly anti-Semitic, and leaves a trail of legal wreckage in her wake. The right should condemn her memory hole. The right should condemn her, memory hole her, and remain focused on how the Republican Party can institute policies that really help the American people. Owens' brand has been percolating online for years. Owens, a black woman, first developed an audience when she began speaking out against the Black Lives Matter movement after she briefly associated with Turning Point USA and Kirk. She had her own show on the Daily Wire, a prominent conservative brand co-founded by author and commenter Ben Shapiro. And this is USA Today, and Nicole Russell wrote it. There's actually a lady that's going to be doing, she was on Twitter, she's going to be doing something on, what was it called? What was the series she did on the Macrons called? Like, something, Bridget, yeah, but it's the same name, but Candace is what this person's going to be doing a whole series on her. But hey guys, if you're out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, I would appreciate it. We just need 2 more channel memberships to get to Wild Bill Wassman's. He'll match 5. And we've got 3, or what do we got? So 3 so far, so we need 2 more. All right. So I guess if we just get 2 more of those, we'll get the Wild Bill Wassman will match 5. So it's like a 2-for-1. Yeah, Owen's brand has been, okay, we were down here on, worked for Turning Point, or not, worked for Turning Point for a little bit, and then she had her own show on the Daily Wire, a prominent conservative brand co-founded by author and commenter Ben Shapiro. But Owens began making anti-Semitic remarks on the show. What a stupid, that's so stupid. And she and the Daily Wire parted ways in 2024. This seemed to spark increasingly erratic behavior, and her antics ratcheted up a notch. This is exactly what we've seen. She descended into madness with the Macron obsession, but her followers ate it up. I think this is this is kind of around the time, I remember like a Zozo in there, we'd talk about oh yeah, Candace Owens. I brought this up before. I know I'm repeating myself, but we'd always liked Candace Owens, but it was 2 years ago or something, or maybe 2.5, where she just started getting really crazy. And that's probably while she was working on the Daily Wire, and then she's been worse since that time. She descended into madness with her Macron obsession. This seemed to sparking. So right here it just says, but Owens began making anti-Semitic remarks while she worked at the Daily Wire on that show, and she and the Daily Wire parted ways in 2024. This seemed to spark increasingly erratic behavior, and her antics ratcheted up a notch. She descended into madness with her Macron obsession. Yeah, I mean, she gets she would do this stupid ancestry stuff on even Kamala Harris, and it was so boring. And it's what are you doing? Hey, thanks, Wild Bill. I guess 3 was good enough. I almost sent 2 in myself, but thank you. She descended into madness with the Macron obsession, but her followers ate it up. The first episode of her Becoming Bridget YouTube series. Oh yeah, so it's going to be called Becoming Candace, this lady on Twitter. I wish I didn't really... I'm not sure if I put down that she was doing that, but I think if you just typed in Becoming Candace on Twitter, it might actually show up. But it says the first episode of her Becoming Bridget YouTube series has nearly 6 million views. What a joke. Jesus. When Kirk was killed, it set Owens off even more. The two were friends though Kirk seemed to distance himself from her over the years for exactly what she is doing now. Sprinting down bizarre rabbit holes. Rather than honor their friendship, Owens remains compelled to exploit it. She has done approximately 35 podcast episodes about Kirk since he was killed. According to one site's analytics, the last time Owens gained significant weekly subscribers was in February. Wow, I don't know about that. Jeez. After Kirk died, that was before that. After Kirk died, her podcast jumped to 430,000 subscribers in the first week of September 2022. I mean, that's crazy. I think it's way over 1 million now, isn't it? Owens is a classic grifter, producing nothing, discovering nothing, exposing nothing in real life. She just rants online via podcast, posts, and videos. But it's paying off. She has amassed over 5.6 million subscribers on YouTube, 7.4 million followers on X, and 6.5 million followers on Instagram. Man, that's why I keep telling you guys, man. Conspiracy pays. Yeah, I saw you did it up there, Wild Bill. Thank you. Yeah. as disturbing as Owen's grift is how many people seem to buy it. Yeah, isn't this exactly, when you're reading this article, isn't this exactly what I've been saying? Like over and over and over. Maybe not with the detail, like, oh, she worked at the Daily. This is exactly what I've been saying now. I mean, she's just got this huge following on YouTube, and people believe it. And it's her presentation. It's crazy. But there isn't a conspirator, though. It's just Tyler Robinson. There isn't, whether there's something behind the scenes with them, sure. There's somebody on... See, I could buy the conspiracy. The only viable conspiracy to me is that on Discord, the community on Discord, there's somehow somebody convinced Tyler Robinson to do this. And there were a lot of people that were aware of what was going to happen because there was a few people on Twitter that were also part of those same types of groups who seemed to know that something bad was going to happen that day. And so that really tells you there's no way somebody would be that sure, like, hey, watch out. I forgot the exact terminology, but it was just like they knew something was going to be happening. And so that's where I see a conspiracy, these people behind the scenes conspiring on Discord of the furry variety, trying to wanting to kill Charlie Kirk. There isn't none of the stuff that Candace Owens is saying has even the remotest possibility of being true. Okay? And just mark my words what I'm telling you right now. The whole thing about the Macrones hiring a hit squad, that's the only thing that, wow, okay, maybe they hate her so much they did something like that. It has absolutely nothing to do with Charlie Kirk, though. So it doesn't even, so it's weird. So even if it's true, let's say the Macrones really did this. What's it got to do with Charlie Kirk? But she tries to associate it each time to make it seem like she's part of this bigger story that's out there. It's important that conservatives condemn and then ignore, like shun and avoid. Right? That's the term. Yeah, what's as disturbing as Owen's grift is how many people seem to buy it. This is exactly what I say when I'm watching her show, and then even in the Idaho 4 case, when you see these nut job conspiracy theorists and people just going, wow, this is so great, ooh. That is the more scary part of it, because there's that many people that believe complete BS. Yeah, I mean, my thing about the Charlie Kirk case for me is it happened to be really interesting for me, and my channel was doing pretty good. So it's sort of like, oh, wow, double whammy, but it was interesting putting all the pieces together, going there, I like doing all that stuff, but I get sort of cajoled and sort of, hey, Greg, you got to cover something else, but, nobody else is interested in anything else. So, that's what sort of happens is like you start covering, some random stuff, which I'll be doing later this evening if you guys want to watch some of I'm going to do some random old cases from back in the day. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's irresponsible for Candace Owens to do what she's doing. You might think it's freedom of speech, and man, maybe she believes it, but she is absolutely being irresponsible. And I'll tell you what, I think, remember after Charlie Kirk died and how everybody was wanting new chapters and there was this huge wave of support? Candace Owens has effectively destroyed all of that feeling. Every bit of it. that momentum, whatever that was, she destroyed it. So she's actually hurt Charlie Kirk's legacy, in my opinion. That is all gone now. Remember how everybody, it was like these kids were like, oh, I was excited. Now you get to show up to these events, and they're saying shit that she's saying. Well, what about the Israelis? You know, did they? And it's like, what are you talking about, man? Who cares what Candace Owens is saying? Do you guys agree with that or not? I mean, can we get some more conversation? Like, you know, when I talk about something, say something, you know, it's just getting really, it's crazy. So what do you think about that? Yeah, I actually think she is effectively split the Republican Party, and as a lot of people think that, you know, now it's sort of like in the public's mind that somehow maybe Turning Point USA had something to do with it, you know, and why would we support them? I think she is a pile of shit for doing this. Do you guys remember the feeling you had after Charlie Kirk? You're like, oh, man. And then you were so proud that all these people were starting to, you know, it doesn't even matter what religion you are. It was just kind of cool that, or even if you're religious, that all these people were like wanting to start new chapters. They were, you know, people were sending in money to keep the organization going, etc. And Candace Owens has smeared Turning Point USA to the point of no return, literally accusing the people there of plotting and planning and giving the okay to take out Kirk because, you know, he was kind of wondering about the finances lately, and then they're gonna, and it's sick. It's sickening. It's important that conservatives condemn and then ignore Owens because, for all her antics, theories, and lawsuits, she continues to rub shoulders with some prominent conservatives who in turn influence massive portions of far-right conservatives. Owens appeared on former Fox News host Tucker Carlson's show just a few months ago. He too has embraced weird 9/11 conspiracy theories. Tucker Carlson just hosted Nick Fuentes on his show. Fuentes is an anti-Semitic Nazi sympathizer, raising questions about whether anti-Semitism is growing among conservatives. And that's one of the things that seems to be happening. If I don't know who's in Candace Owens' chat, I don't know what their demographics are, but when you look inside her chat room, some of the worst things you've ever heard in your life are written in there about Jewish people, etc. It's sick, you know, and she doesn't do a damn thing about it. I don't even think she even moderates it. She just lets whoever just say whatever they want. And then, I don't know, man, I could never allow comments like that. No way. When Kirk was assassinated, let's see, to finish up above it says, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas condemned Carlson, but the Heritage Foundation, the largest conservative think tank in Washington, D.C., defended him. All of this is about 5 degrees of separation too close for me. Conservatives have to fight back against these voices. When Kirk was assassinated, I had hoped it would bring the right many factions together, unite them under a burgeoning purpose. Yeah, I remember that's how I was feeling. God, family, country, conservative principles. Instead, it has exposed our weakness. I thought the conservative movement was better than this. The popularity of extreme, bizarre, outlandish figures like Owens, Fuentes, and Carlson, influencers, feeding off views is concerning. Untethered from reality, unable to display a modicum of discipline and self-respect, Owens is the worst of the online far right. Not just because she is a grifting, anti-Semitic, blathering fool. I know, like I feel exactly the way this writer is. As you're going through it in your mind, you're getting angrier and angrier talking about it. So then you can see now it's coming out in the writing. Not just because she's a grifting, anti-Semitic, blathering fool, but because she's doing it under the guise of political commentary, under the pretense of conserving something. But I think it's also like she's trying to, seems like she's investigating, and she's not doing anything. Owens is conserving nothing. No tenet of Republican thought or policy. She is a contrarian and a provocateur, nothing more. She has no place in the conservative movement, and we should tell her so. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that was a perfect article. But hey, guys, if you're out there, you have the ability to help support the channel, I would appreciate your support. We're currently at 1/5 of the nightly goal. All right, here we go. And this is another one by, Times of India. Did I go over this one? I didn't think I did this one. No. And Times of India is sort of like Daily Mail now. A little bit. I mean, they pop up every second. Yeah, she insinuates there's dots, and there isn't any. She's, I'm just asking questions. God, I mean, the thing is, she is pretty, right? So that's kind of like, I think that's what gives her credibility. If she was like an ugly, physically ugly person, I think people would have stopped listening to her a long time ago. Maybe that's what happened to me. I think that's it, man. There are definitely some things that are happening within that subject of BB. Nah, there isn't. There isn't, Devin. Sorry for your ignorance, but there's nothing whatsoever in there. She's just making it seem like that to you. People that are really ignorant, almost foolish, will believe stuff like that. All right, so anyways, here we go. Nick Fuentes demands evidence as Candace Owens links Emmanuel Macron and Charlie Kirk's death to assassination plot. Yeah, maybe it needs some makeup. Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't look as good as Candace Owens. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Candace Owens' explosive claims on X alleging French President Macron and his wife paid for her assassination and French Legion soldiers killed Charlie Kirk have been met with skepticism. What do you mean skepticism? I mean, it's like outright ridiculousness. Right-wing commentator Nick Fuentes, I mean, man, imagine Candace losing a guy like that, publicly demanded proof, calling her stories crazy and lacking evidence, particularly. See, Fuentes, he's the scarier one, because he literally is like a Nazi supporter, and he's gotten so huge lately because of people like Tucker Carlson made him bigger, and then also just other bigger, and even, I guess that word gripers comes from him. But it's like now he's trying to seem like he's the moderate one by even him challenging Candace Owens. You know what I mean? Candace Owens made very serious claims on X. She said the French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte Macron paid to have her killed. She also said French Legion soldiers were involved in killing Charlie Kirk. These claims shock many people online, but there is still no proof. On his Rumble live stream, right-wing commentator Nick Fuentes, I don't even know if you'd put him right-wing. He seems like he'd be the same as a far-left person, you know. Right-wing commentator Nick Fuentes spoke about these claims. He said he did not believe them because Owens showed no proof at all. Fuentes says very clearly he wants evidence. He even said he does not want Candace Owens to get hurt, but her story sounds crazy to him. This moment became a big topic online as Owens and Fuentes often fight on social media. Nick Fuentes questions Candace Owens' claims about Bridget McCrone and Emmanuel Macron. Nick Fuentes talked about the claims on his show America First. He said he would only believe Owens if she showed even one shred of evidence. Fuentes said Owens keeps saying people are trying to kill her, but she never shows any proof. He said, "Where's the evidence?" He also mocked her on an Instagram story where she said Bridget Macron's family were chocolatiers in Nazi Germany and later moved to America under Project Paperclip. He said these stories also had no proof. I think Candace, she just gets emails from people and then just runs with it like it's real. I get emails from people and go, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever." I even email them back and go, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen." Nick Fuentes joked that Owens' only proof for saying Bridget McCrone is a man came from facial recognition AI tool. Owens said the AI matched Bridget McCrone's face with a childhood photo of her brother. Fuentes laughed and said it was not real evidence at all. Let's see. Owens said the AI matched Bridget McCrone's face. Jeez, she's so stupid. That whole AI thing. AI is great if you're just trying to figure things out, get things, figuring things out. But not doing, a facial recognition software. It just isn't, on a public site. You're not going to get it. What do you mean, Gray? I did it and it worked really... Okay, forget it. All right, you guys, as you know, my channel relies on you guys to help support the channel. We're currently at 1/6 of a normal nightly goal, even missing an entire day yesterday. So if we could please help support the channel tonight, I would appreciate it. Maybe get some channel memberships for people. We're currently at $25 in super chats and 8 channel memberships. That's where we're at currently. Now see. Nick Fuentes joked that Owens' only proof for saying Bridget McCrone is a man came from a facial recognition AI tool. Owens said the AI matched Bridget McCrone's face with a childhood photo. How would that even work? Well, if she grows up and then her bone structure goes like this, would it match? Fuentes laughed and said it was not real evidence at all. Well, it's true. It's garbage. Nick Fuentes said he may believe Owens... See, isn't it... now that I'm reading this, I'm thinking, isn't it weird that there's like this story out here where Nick Fuentes is being portrayed as sort of the rational person because Candace Owens is that ridiculous. It's been that way the whole night, Bruce. Nick Fuentes said he may believe Owens only if she brings real proof. He said he does not want her hurt. The fight between Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes is not new. Owens earlier said Fuentes lies about her series on Bridget McCrone. She also posted that Fuentes called her names like dumbass and biatch. Their online fight has grown since Fuentes went on Owens' podcast in July. Wow. Candace Owens said she shared her claims with the White House. On November 25th, she said the White House confirmed they received her information. Right, they probably went, yeah, we got it. Whew, wow. But no government agency has given any response yet. So at the moment, Owens' claims remain unproven, and Fuentes continues to ask for simple evidence. What's this one here? Let's do this one. This is another one. Candace Owens raises new questions as she seeks footage of Egyptians she claims came to Provo. She got all of her information from this one nut job sort of lady from England doing flight analysis and crap like that. It's just pure insanity. I was following along and I was using flight radar looking up the planes. There's planes that exist, but she keeps correlating. Like, what is the plane doing flying by right there? So the plane just kind of flies by, and then what does it have to do with Charlie Kirk, though? Just because it flew by? Hey, thanks, crazy lady. Appreciate somebody actually thinking of me. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'll be back if you want me to. Thank you for all your hard work.
Let's just read this. Candace Owens is once again, this is from today. So Candace Owens, once again, talking about the death of Charlie Kirk, and she claims she has a new major break in the case. On November 26, 2025, she shared new claims on X. She said a person who was directly involved in booking hotel rooms told her that a group she calls Egyptians came to Provo on September 4th, 2025. Okay, well, the shooting was on the 10th. She also said they stayed at the La Quinta Inn and Suites on University Parkway in Orem until September 13th. Okay, wow, an overlap. Candace Owens called this a big clue. It asked people in Utah to check any camera they have from those days. If you see anybody that happens to look Egyptian walking by, give me a call. She told shop owners and hotel workers that someone near the hotel may hold the key to what happened. These claims are not proven, and she's not shared any records or videos to support them. The Jerusalem Post also reported her statements. Candace Owens asked Utah shops and hotel workers to share video from early September. In her post on X, Candace wrote, she's now looking for footage. She said people who live or near La Quinta Inn should check their cameras. Major break. Jeez. She even has the right lingo. Candace Owens later posted a second message. In that message, she hinted that the FBI may have already taken any hotel footage. She wrote, and if we find out the FBI sees the footage already, but she did not provide any evidence to show the FBI did this. Hey, thanks, Sandy Shirley. Authorities have not said anything about her new claim, and there's no official confirmation that these Egyptians exist or stayed at the hotel. Let's see. The Jerusalem Post said that Candace Owens has made many big claims since Charlie Kirk's death. The paper reported that she has also shared fears that her own safety, about her own safety, and has talked about foreign groups and leaders in earlier posts. But none of these ideas have been proven by officials. Candace Owens continues to ask the public to send her tips, videos, or receipts from the day before and after Charlie Kirk's death. Her posts are bringing strong reactions online. Some people believe her, while others say, I know, a lot of stupid people believe her. I will say that. If you believe Candace Owens, you're dumb. All right? That's just a fact. I don't know what else to tell you. Well, how about this? If you believe Candace Owens, you're a gullible nut job. What do you think? Does that sound better? Maybe you actually have a brain that functions, but, you know. Yeah, thanks, Gemini. I don't know why, but for some reason I can't put people's comments on the screen. It's weird. Let me see does it show up over here? So if I click on a comment, yeah, see it's supposed to show up over here, but it isn't. Yeah. Got it all in there. Crazy. Portraying yourself as the victim. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess, do you guys have any thoughts on Candace? I was going to move on to stories that most of you won't be interested in. Yeah, and I don't, the thing is, you guys, I don't mean to, the thing is, I just feel the way I feel. So when I'm in here and I'm saying, it's hard for me to be uplifting when I don't feel uplifting. All right, I guess that's my problem. But I can't feel. I'm not a fake. I'm not an actress or an actor. Like I'm not going to be able to come in here and go, "Hey, man, hey, yay." When things are just going really poorly. I can't get anybody to watch my videos. I can't get anybody to watch, the live streams. It's hard to get the notifications out. Hardly anybody even has them set. Despite what people think, So there it is. Well, I wasn't trying to be funny, Bruce. I was telling you the truth. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. If you guys can send me a book on how to pretend, make sure to send it to me. Yeah, I'm sure you share them. I'm scared to even make a video anymore. Because it takes so many hours to make a video when you put it out there and it gets just buried right out of the chute. It's just so demoralizing that it's almost not worth doing. And then you do a live stream and look at tonight. Just dead as a doornail. It's like, man, where's the safe haven? There isn't one. It's crazy. Yeah, if you want to send me an email with suggestions on how to get more views, that'd be great. But if you're going to talk about my personality, then I don't want to hear about it. This is how I feel. Any more Peanut Allen video? I don't know who's Peanut Allen. Never heard of that. No one even know what you're talking about. Let's see. Are you talking about Richard Allen? Yeah, maybe. It's been like this for a week or so, though, Qued, so I don't think that's really... I mean, it could be, but, like 3 nights ago it was the same, and just sort of... Yeah, well, it does, because I mean, I'm just saying, if it continues like this, how would we ever be able to do any of the stuff? Because we have our charity fund that we give money to. We have our DNA fund that we put money in. We, it's just all those things you can't do anymore. I don't know who Harold Peanut Allen is. Sorry. I don't remember. Oh, Peanut. Yeah, I kind of remember that name. What was that about? I don't remember what that was about. Wasn't that like a couple days ago, or who was that? What did Harold Allen do? Didn't he just... I think we might still be... Yeah, well, I wanted to do... I was all set up to do that, but that has nothing to do with my channel, because Charlie Kirk... My channel was doing great when I was covering Charlie Kirk, but then it just seemed to absolutely die because I wasn't doing conspiracies anymore. You know, it was weird. It was like on a dime. You know, one day it just went like that. Oh, is he the coach, Harold Peanut Allen? Is that the coach? I haven't seen any. I know that they've charged. I think he probably drove his car into the water or something like that. What case are you talking about, Lexi? I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about. You have to type in a full sentence. Oh my God, would you just type in the sentence, please? Oh, okay, that one, yeah, I don't know. Nobody watched that one either, Lexi. So when you say, well, I did, well, I mean, I got to do a show where, not 16 people are watching. All those videos that I put out on that one, nobody even... You're talking about the one, you just got to type in what happened. Remember that the wife and daughter tried to kill the husband? Then I would know exactly what you were talking about right off the shoot, but we didn't get that. Oh, you set it up above. I didn't get your comment till I... Oh, well, I think I have it on... Oh, I didn't have it on live chat. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah, I see it now. I see it now. I just said I saw it now, Lexi. You can keep repeating yourself. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I was going to start going over all the different videos and everything, and when you have 70 people watching, that's kind of when you go, well, probably won't do that. Unfortunately. Maybe I'll upload different, body camera or whatever, other interviews or something. Yeah, well, I mean, we did the live stream about it. Did you see any of those, Lexi, where I did they were videos that were, what were they? They're just like premieres. Yeah, he's full of shit. Brian Enton. Yeah. Yeah, again, he's just one of those sensationalistic types, You know how it goes. He's always been that way. He can't help himself. And it's not missing at all. All right? I'll show it to you. All right? I looked it up because Lisa sent me on something about it. Yeah, I think those were interesting. Yeah, nobody was interested, Lexi. Go look at the views on those things. I mean, to this day, they're like the, you know, I mean, I could sit, I mean, even I'm trying to get a whole bunch of stuff out. Like I was trying to do the whole trial, the Delphi transcript thing, and then these new documents came out, and even those, just nobody was interested at all. And, you know, what do you want me to do? It's crazy. Yeah, so let me go find this. No, there weren't, those were videos. Those weren't live streams, were they? Oh wait, no, I think those are, yeah, back here. There they are. Ashley Jones and Marcia Allen. The Ashley Jones has 946 views as of today. The Marcia Allen one has 1,115. That's horrendous. All right, so that's a problem, you know. I mean, I guess I could just upload the rest of the videos if you want me to. It's just one of those things where, I mean, all the time it takes to, you know, get it, you know, edit it, put the beginning and the end, and save it back out, and then upload. What about Anna Kepner? Yeah. What about it? Now those weren't streams though; those are just live. They're premieres. Yeah, it might be interesting to look at some of the. I mean, there was another interview with somebody else, but. Yeah, the mom took her own life, yeah. I already did cover it, Jur. I already covered Anna Kepner. What, is there anything new today? I've covered it like 4 times. Jesus. I mean, there's so many people that type that stuff in, but they never go, they miss like 90% of the shows. So they just think that I do shows every single day. All right. So, you know, might want to check on the day before or the day before or the day before. Yeah. Yeah. Except the sponsors probably want you to have good views. And I don't. I mean, I'm signed up for it. I don't really get the sponsors. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how other people get them. Hey, Juror 13, how about you show up and look at, you know, look around, figure out what's going on before you start just blabbing and blabbing and blabbing. You made like 9 comments in a row. Okay? I'm not interested in what you're saying. I'm sorry. Let's see. Nothing left to say about it then. No, I mean, I might upload some... Lexi, I might actually upload some... You know, I'll go look and see if there's more videos and I'll just upload them. Alright? I just didn't know what case you were talking about. I mean, it sounded familiar as soon as I realized that it was the... I mean, it sounded really familiar, the peanut part. I was like, oh, yeah, yeah. I just didn't remember exactly what it was. Yeah, maybe I'm getting old and I need a better explanation. Okay. You seem like a troll, Jur. Like you got one of the freebies, you know. Right. I just don't know what you're so angry about. I just told you that I've covered it like 5 times. We did a bunch of shows on that, the cruise ship case, right? Anna Hepner. We went through the whole thing. We actually figured out before the media did, based on the wording, that something nefarious was going on, that the family knew that the kid, the 16-year-old stepbrother, was likely interested in her before, because that's why the father said, you put my son in a dangerous position or something like that. In the document before it came out, that's in fact what the ex-boyfriend said. Oh, God. Hey, Jesus. Get out of here. I don't think it would matter. Because if nobody watches the video after it's over, then... You know what I mean? Like if... let me just say this. If I'm playing... I do a premiere timer, and sure, there might be a few extra people that show up for the premiere. But why wouldn't it also then get viewed later with the same information? You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, I just think it's the topic. People aren't interested, you know? God. Yeah. Hey, Jur, I don't care, man. Yeah, join the club. All right, join the club. But, let's see. I mean, for somebody that just goes, oh, you went off the rails. You know, like you just went nuts on some little minor thing where I was just saying, yeah, we've covered it 4 or 5 times. You should check it out sometime. And then the fact that you keep typing over and over and over because you just can't deal with it, that's somebody that wouldn't last around here. No, Brian Walsh, probably not. Never heard of him. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing something if there was like a trial that everybody wanted to watch and I had something extra to offer, that'd be cool. You know, one thing I did buy, it was kind of interesting, is the... Here, we'll give them well, forget it. They already said they were going to unsubscribe. It doesn't matter. All right, well, guess what we're going to do now, you guys? Completely boring stuff. But like you said, if you're out there, though, and you have the ability to help support the channel, that would be awesome. I don't know who Anna Walsh is. So... yeah. I mean, how does that help me, Paulette? I don't know. I don't remember doing Anna Walsh. Right. Well, if it's big, then that means the other channels people will watch it on. You know how it goes. I think isn't this one we did like years ago? Yeah, in a case. Making murder case are also tense. Search for Anna Walsh launched. I probably have it in here somewhere, right? Yeah, right there. Missing at the time Anna Walsh over here in Massachusetts, right? That was a long time ago. Look how far up that block is over here. I think I kind of vaguely remember this one. None of the details, though. Yeah, maybe we'll give the juror, that juror person, if they want to, let's just see what happens if they come back. All right. It's probably good to remove them, but let's just see what happens. They did gift a membership. Maybe they just had a bad moment. I don't know. I wasn't trying to be. I was just like, man, I get so many people that ask me if I did this, and this, especially like on. Yeah, let's just read this thing really fast. It was about murder case. A massive search for Anna Walsh was launched in January of 2023, so it's almost 3 years ago. And her colleagues in Washington, D.C. said she did not show up for work. Prosecutor said Brian Walsh told investigators he last saw his wife leaving their home in Coasset on New Year's Day. Days later, Brian Walsh was arrested and accused of misleading police, then ultimately charged with his wife's murder. Prosecutors argue Brian killed his wife because he suspected she was having an affair, then dismembered and disposed of the body. They say trash bags were recovered in dumpsters with items that belonged to Anna Walsh, along with hacksaw and a hatchet. Investigators also uncovered internet searches they say Brian Walsh made, including how long for someone to be missing to inherit. I think I kind of remember some of these. Like they were it's such stupid. I don't know if we have the probable cause. Brian Walsh has been in jail since his arrest. He's also serving time for unrelated fraud case. In September, authorities said he was stabbed in jail. That incident caused a judge to delay his murder trial. Brian Walsh was found to be competent and ready to stand trial. Yeah, let me see if I can find it in my. I have a full, like a folder that's filled, has all my old files in it. Let me just type it in. Let's type in Walsh. I don't remember that. I mean, that was 3 years ago, and it wasn't like we covered it multiple days. It was maybe 2 days or something, and I don't remember if that was it. Zozo. Kind of sounds... I don't know. Let me try to go find this folder really quick. Well, you guys, any chance you guys can help support the channel tonight? We're currently at 1/4 of a normal nightly goal. An Indian lady posted about her. I remember. I don't remember that. The Indian. I don't know. It's still searching over here. Alright, there it is. There it is. Yeah, so this is the original folder here, the January 17th, 2023. Let's see. Now I kind of remember that face. You guys remember that? Newly obtained booking photos show Brian Walsh, husband of missing woman Anna Walsh, after his arrest. Brian Walsh is currently being held on high bail after being charged with misleading a police investigation. According to court documents, Brian Walsh also awaiting sentencing in a federal case that began in 2018 when Walsh was accused of selling 2 fake Andy Warhol paintings on eBay to a buyer in Los Angeles for $80,000 in a forfeiture order last summer. Walsh was ordered to turn over those paintings along with $225,000. The 47-year-old has agreed to plead guilty to wire fraud, interstate transportation for a scheme to defraud an unlawful monetary transaction. The booking photos are connected to that art fraud and search of his condo in Lynn in 2018. Because of that pending federal case, Walsh was on house arrest. Let's see. The husband of Massachusetts woman who's been missing since New Year's Day conducted a series of gruesome internet searches about ways to dismember and dispose of a body in the hours and days after she disappeared. Brian Walsh, the husband of missing Cohasset woman Anna Walsh, and who has already been charged with misleading investigators in the search for the mother of three, was arraigned in court Wednesday on charges of murder and improper transport of a body. Anna Walsh, 39, was last seen more than 2 weeks ago on New Year's Day and was reported missing by her employer. Ryan Walsh, 47, was escorted just after 9 a.m. into Quincy District Court. Yeah, so I remember like his face and everything. Their body has not been found. Friends say the couple's marriage was strained as a result of Anna's grueling work schedule, which meant they spent much of their time living apart, with Anna in D.C. and Brian and the boys in Massachusetts. I kind of remember that. Anna was also photographed without her wedding ring in some of the final photos taken before she vanished. That guy just looks like a serial type. I mean, he didn't do that, but to cut somebody up, you have to look at this wacko. These are from way back in, back in the day. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been following it, so I don't know if I'd be the greatest. Everybody's going to be, who's going to be covering the trial? Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? What's Ellen Greenberg got to do with this? Mm-hmm. All right, well, how do we get the support for the channel up tonight? It's just been... I don't think I've ever seen a night quite like this. Lately, it's been a lot of those. We have no coffees, nothing. It's just... I'm just trying to figure out what the Greenberg, how that even got brought up in these conversations. Like, where was the nexus? Oh, that one, you described it. I think we've talked about it. I started watching the Netflix. I think it was on Netflix. I didn't finish it though, but it was good up to the part that I watched. Anyways, I'm gonna go use the restroom. Man, this is... What do you mean you don't trust Netflix? What do you mean? Hey, thanks. I don't know who what the name is over here, but Ivo. Very cool. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, you like that song? All right, you guys, I'm switching over to something else. The old school stories. Trying to. Zozo said to maybe do the new ones and the old ones, and so we did all the new stuff. And now I'm switching over to old. See, this guy. These are cases that nobody will ever talk about ever, right? So here's Mark Anthony DeStefano, probably. Unsolved homicide victim, May 10th, 1980, Curtis, Ohio. Right? So we're just going to do what we always do and just figure out what the hell may have happened. And if we don't know, I mean, it's just put it out there so somebody might think of something. And if you're one of the people in this case that did it, maybe think of, or who did it, come forward, all right? Jerusalem Township youth found shot to death. Mark A. DeStefano, 15, an 8th grader at Eisenhower Junior High School, was found shot to death about 6:30 a.m. Saturday on Brown Road. I think I do have this one. Hold on, I got to go to my new folders, because I switched over there to go look at Walsh. All right, here we go. It's in Ohio. So apparently he lived right there. So the youth of 1000 Lion Street Road or whatever, Jerusalem Township, who was the son of Mrs. Billy Halka and Angelo DeStefano, was pronounced dead at the scene. Dr. Harry Migneri, Lucas County coroner, said that the youth had been shot twice in the back and 3 times in the head. He ruled the death homicide. The boy's body, found lying face down in a grassy area about 10 feet from the edge of the roadway, was discovered by a passing motorist who notified Oregon police. Oregon's a small town right there. Shooting occurred during robbery. Lieutenant Stanley Nelipa, head of the Sheriff's Department Detective Bureau, said the shooting apparently occurred during the course of a robbery. Young DeStefano had been shot at close range, possibly with a rifle, Lieutenant Nelipa said, adding that no weapons has been found. He said the youth had about $15 in his possession when last seen by a friend around 4:30 a.m. Well, how did the friend know that he had 15? When the youth's body was found, one of his pant pockets was turned inside out, and the other contained only 70 cents. The boy was wearing a pair of tuxedo trousers and a black shirt with white flowers. He had gone to a restaurant Friday night with his girlfriend, Lieutenant Nalepa said, then had gone to a friend's house for a party. Following the party, the boy went to the home of another friend where he stayed until about 4:30 a.m. And then he decided to walk home. The boy was going to stay overnight at the house located about 2 miles northeast of his home. And so if you go, well, I guess northeast, so I had that totally off. So let me fix this. I just was guessing. So northeast, and that's about 2 miles. So he's somewhere right in this area right here is where his friend was. Yeah, it could be right over here too. But, right there. let's see. The boy was going to stay overnight at the house located about 2 miles northeast of his home, but changed his mind and decided to walk home. The body was found less than a mile southwest of his home. Lieutenant Nalapa said the boy may have been picked up by someone as he was on his way home. Also surviving are his stepfather, Mike Holka, brother Michael, sisters Angela and Jacqueline. Yeah, we can go through that whole thing, but all right, so you got that one, and then the next one. First article is on the 11th. This is 12th. The Lucas County Sheriff's Department is hoping someone who possibly witnessed the fatal shooting of Mark A. DeStefano, 15, early Saturday will come forward with information that will lead to an arrest of the killer. The victim of 1000 Lion Road, son of Mrs. Billy Hulka and Angela DeStefano of Jerusalem Township, was an 8th grader at Eisenhower Junior High. A motorist found the body about 6:30 a.m., lying face down about 10 feet from the edge of Brown Road, just west of Lyon. Yeah, so this is where he lived. Right there, it looks like a pretty nice, well, I guess we'd have to look. I mean, that looks like a pretty nice property, you know. Now, what did it look like in 1980, though? I mean, if we go back in time, was this somebody recently bought it up? I mean, that still looks good in 2000. That's 1994. So, and then, you know, that's 85. So it looks like just vaguely there's still a pond and there's a house there. So a lot's been added to it. So it probably looked more like that. That's 2003. And then it looks like that part's still there, right? In 1994, kind of looks like there's a building there. Like the camera's straight behind it. And that's a shadow. The dark there is the shadow of the building. Yeah, so that probably, you know, it's probably even a nice house back then. With their own pond. And this has been added. And then apparently he was found right there. So what was the deal? What was the deal with that friend's house again? The shooting apparently occurred during a robbery. The youth was last seen about 4:30 a.m. And so he was, I mean, did he walk home or something? In his possession when the teenager's body was found. One of the pants pocket was turned inside out. Detectives from the sheriff's department pursued a couple of leads Sunday, Lieutenant Nalapa said, but turned up nothing substantive. God, I hate that word. That's one of those ones I just can't say. Yeah, I forgot the name of the case you're talking about. Zozo, you know that one where when his friends, but there's no friends that say they found him. Detectives from the sheriff's department pursued a couple of leads Sunday. Lieutenant Nalepa, head of the sheriff's department's detective bureau, said that the teenager had left the house of a friend at about 4:30 a.m. to walk. That's weird. So that means somebody must have picked him up and then they killed him because he was way past his house. Right? So you got to look at it like this. He was over at the friend's house up here and then walked home. So he'd be walking and maybe somebody goes, hey, what, picked him up or something. And because his body was found here, this is Lyon Road and this is Brown Road. And it was just west of Lyon. So I just kind of put a pin right there. So, I mean, he made it way past his house. Lieutenant Nalepa said the youth may have been picked up by someone as he was on his way home. I hadn't read these yet. But that's exactly what I was thinking right there. As he was on his way home. We're hopeful. that if the kid was picked up, there was a third party in the car who witnessed the shooting and will come forward, the lieutenant said. So far, though, no one has offered any information on the killing. And by the way, if I just was pretending that I didn't read it, would I really bring it up one sentence before it came up? I don't read any of these things. I might read like up to here where I can get the address and stuff, but then it's so boring if you read the whole thing. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. See? The desire to see a new puppy may have caused the youth to leave the friend's home on Brown Road. The desire to see a new puppy. That's why he left so early. To leave the friend's home on Brown Road. The friend's home, he lived on Brown Road? Was Brown up here too then? Or that's Brown? That doesn't make any sense. I think that's an error in the article. That doesn't make sense. And take the early morning walk home. There has been a friend. Let's see. There had been a Friday night party for ninth graders, which the youth did not attend, but he did go to the friend's house along with several other youths for a party after the school function. About 4:30 a.m., Mark told his friends that he wanted to see the new puppy and was walking home. Mrs. Takis said today. She said it was not unusual for students to walk home, particularly if they did not live along State Route 2. The youth was described by fellow students as not a joiner and as a self-sufficient person, extremely well dressed, strikingly good looking. He was described by faculty members as an average student. There was a subdued mood today at Eisenhower, which houses 537th and 8th and 9th grade students. Principal Patrick Barton called for a minute of silent prayer before the start of classes in the morning. All right, and the next day, I think they're talking about the puppy again. 30s last week denied Mark permission. Okay, let's see. Well, the 15-year-old Jerusalem Township youth murdered early Saturday near his home was a good kid, a quiet kid. He loved hunting and fishing and was crazy about dogs, his mother and stepfather say. And one theory goes that love of dog might have led to his death, led to the death of Mark DeStefano of 1000 Lion Road, whose body with 5 bullet wounds was found near Brown and Lion Road. His affection for dogs might have prompted Mark to leave a friend's home early Saturday morning and walk the mile to his own home. He might have, have they ever checked the friend he was staying at? How did the friend know he had $15 in his pocket? He might have wanted to sleep with a new puppy his mother had bought for him Friday morning to replace a dog that had died. That would not surprise me one bit about Mark, Billy Hulka, his mother said Monday afternoon, but I can't understand why he didn't call. We would have picked him up. Maybe he didn't want to disturb us. Well, 4:30, probably not. Mark's mother and his stepfather, Mike Hulka, a masonry contractor, said that on Friday night, Mark was in a terrific mood, really happy, even though he could not attend a 9th grade dance with classmates at Eisenhower Junior High School. Mr. Hulka said that school authorities last week denied Mark permission to go to the dance because the youth had been caught smoking in a school restroom. That's exactly what I got out of the picture of him. 1980. I think me and him are kind of the same age, really. If I think about it, like 1980 was in, I was in 8th grade in 1980. I remember doing the May 18th, 1980 is when Mount St. Helens erupted, and I was in 8th grade. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? Let's see. Mark had been working in his stepfather's contracting yard to earn the money for the evening and to rent a tuxedo. Instead, his parents dropped him off at Woodville Road restaurant where at about 10:30 to meet his date and another couple after the function. He had about $30 in spending money. Hey, thanks, Sandy Shirley. He had about $30 in spending money when he left home, they said. After dinner, the four young persons went to an after-dance party at a classmate's home. Hey, she's trying for a wave. At a classmate's home, and after dropping their dates off, Mark and another boy had planned to spend the rest of the night at the friend's home in the Reno Beach area. Mr. and Mrs. Hulka said they knew about their son's plans for the evening. Mark told the friend about 4:30 a.m. that he wanted to see the new puppy and was walking home. See, it's interesting. I mean, now you have the friend awake at 4:30. I mean, how do we know that the friend... I mean, I don't know. It seems kind of stupid to kill somebody for $15. But the killer did. The killer killed him for 15. But why would a friend kill somebody? I mean, that just... I don't know. And people still hitchhiked in 1980. Mark told the friend about 4:30 a.m. that he wanted to see the new puppy and was walking home. Daisy Takis, a school counselor, said Monday. The friend lives about 1 mile east and a little north of Hulka home, which is just south of State Route 2. So the friend, let me see, that sounds different now. It's not 2 miles. The friend lives about 1 mile east and a little north of Hulka. Okay, let's see. So now we got to change this. So 1 mile. Let's just go to there. I'm sure that's how they measured it. 1 mile east, right? And then what'd they say? A little north. A little north, yeah. So this is just like right in there. So just kind of like right in this area. Probably one of these. Lisa Valenzuela said, if we get 4 more super chats or memberships, I will send $25 coffee. Well, thanks so much. Appreciate that. Well, there you go, you guys. There is the... So Sandy Shirley, it makes 1. If we can get 4 more of those, we got the very generous Lisa Valenzuela with the matching coffee. Well, how would you know, Sandy? He was covering for anybody. He didn't stay quiet. He said, Mark's body was found about 1.5. He didn't. When you say he stayed quiet, what do you mean? I don't really understand that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just sort of interesting, you know. Like, what are the odds of somebody else driving around at 4:30, and now his friend's up at 4:30? Does his friend? Well, we don't even know if the friend has a car, you know. But I don't know. Sort of. Mark told a friend about 4:30 a.m. that he wanted to see the new puppy, and was walking home. I don't remember him staying quiet though. The friend lives about 1 mile east and a little north of the Hulka home. Mark's body was found about 1/2 mile south of his home and not on a direct route between the 2 residences. Right. See, that's exactly what when you can just see it on the map. That's why it's important to have maps in cases, because you can immediately say, well, shit, he didn't walk home then. Somebody dropped him over there. Or maybe they hurt him somewhere. I mean, who knows? You know, I'm sure they didn't shoot him and then put him in their car. That'd be pretty crazy. But Lieutenant Stanley Nalepa said that 2 cartridge casings were found at the murder scene. So just 2. What about the other 3? And that tests are being made to learn whether they might be linked to the killing. Well, You know, I don't know. It seems like a pretty good chance, you know. All right, you guys see Lisa Valenzuela's challenge there. We need 4 more of what Sandy Shirley. Okay, now we've got 2. We need 3 more. Thanks, Michelle H. All right, here we go. And then we're sort of fading away now. This one says the Lucas County Sheriff's Department is continuing to active investigation of the May 10th slaying of 10-year-old Mark DeStefano of Jerusalem Township. The youth, an 8th grader at Eisenhower Junior High, was last seen leaving a party at a friend's house at around 4:30 a.m. All right, so you got that. And then there was another one. That was, see, that those ones were from May. So it was May 11th, 12th, 13th, and then it starts fading. May 29th, and then next one is 1983, which is about 3 years later. And probably going to say robbery theory. Let's see. The initial investigation by sheriff investigators resulted in a theory that the youth might have been a robbery target. I wonder if it was some other reason and they just took the 15 just for opportunity, like, hey, it's got $15, why not take it? But I thought it was, don't you think it's interesting that his friend knew that he had $15 exactly? How did the friend know that? And how do we know it was just 15? Maybe the friend said it was 15 to make 15 seem like unworthy of being robbed, but maybe he had more in his pocket than 15. Lieutenant Stanley Nalepa, head of the Sheriff Detective Bureau, said at the time of the murder that young DeStefano had 15 in his pocket when last seen by a friend at about 4:30 a.m., but that when the body was found, one of the trouser pockets was turned inside out and the other contained only about 70 cents. However, Sergeant Vaughn said that continued investigation has raised the possibility that the murder may have resulted from a drug-related case of mistaken identity, in which, wow, this is like that other one. Remember that girl in the phone booth years ago that we covered? In which someone, and she had the same name or something, and it was like Sarah Connor almost, in which someone approached him thinking him to be somebody else. Young DeStefano apparently was shot about 6:30 a.m. Wow, that's 2 hours later, so they must have had him somewhere. 6:30 a.m. that Saturday at close range with a small caliber gun, possibly a rifle. No weapon has been found. The youth was an 8th grade pupil at Eisenhower Junior High School. He had gone to a restaurant that Friday night with a girlfriend and then to a friend's house. He was last seen walking south on Howard Road. There we go. Let's see where that is. That's got to be right here. This feels pretty good doing something else. This is like old school shit. Hey, look at it. So really close. So it's just a little bit further over. It's like just right up in there. All right, guys, we need 3 more of those. You can do it. I'll tell you what, if you guys, I mean, we're not even anywhere close to anything, but if you guys do those 3, I'll donate 5 memberships, and then Lisa Valenzuela will do the coffees. How's that sound? So we just need 3 more. He was last seen walking south on Howard Road towards Jerusalem Road. His body was found less than a mile southwest of his home. Under the Crime Stopper program, a person supplying police with information leading to the arrest They get $1,000. Let me check something out though. So if we were going to measure from his home, do they go from his driveway? Let me just see what happens. And this is 0.75. That's a mile. So I'm right in there, you know. It said less than a mile, so from right there's a mile, so probably right near where I have that pin. Man, come on, you guys. Jesus. All right, we got not one last one in here. This was one, and then there was no articles at all. And then there's one from 2019. So this one might be more interesting. Like, who knows what will be in this one. Mark DeStefano never curled his hair. So when his sister saw him lying in his casket with his hair curled, she got angry, and she tried to fix it. But as she smoothed out the curls, her fingers brushed the spot where he'd been shot in the head, one of 5 gunshot wounds with which his body had been found on a spring morning in 1980.
Since my wave
Thanks, Sandy.
Ocean wave emoji, ocean wave emoji, ocean wave emoji.
Thank you, Sandy Shirley. 2 more, you guys. 2 more. Let's see. Been found on a spring morning, 1980, in Jerusalem Township. 3 in the head and 2 in the back. Man, so this person was probably shot in the back first, and then 3 times in the head to make sure he was dead. Like, I think he probably, maybe even tried to run and then was shot twice. No one disliked Mark, said his sister Angela DeStefano, who for nearly 40 years had been hoping and figuring for her little brother murder to be solved. He was just the happiest kid there was. He always had a smile on his face. At about 6:30 a.m. on May 10th, 1980, isn't that weird? Because May 18th, 1980 is the date that I remember being in. Just 8 days later, Mount St. Helens went off. DeStefano's brother was found near Brown and Lyon Road in Jerusalem Township, less than a mile from their home, according to Blade report from the time. He was supposed to spend the night before at a friend's house, but he'd left the house at about 4:30 a.m., according to what his friends told police at the time. His friends and family speculated that he was trying to walk home to see the new puppy his mother had bought for him the day before. DeStefano was 16, less than a year older than her brother, and she awoke that morning to detectives at their house telling the family her brother was dead. It was like I was in a dream, she said. Since then, the family has tried to piece together where the youth went, whom he might have been with, and how he ended up shot to death by the side of the road. They know he went to dinner the night before with his older brother and his brother's wife. They know he'd gotten into trouble and wasn't allowed to attend the school dance that night at Eisenhower Junior High School. They know police believed at one point that the murder could have been a robbery gone wrong because the youth's pockets were turned inside out. He could have hitched a ride after leaving his friend's house, his sister said. It's possible that in the hours between leaving the friend's house and finding of his body that he and whomever he was with went down to the pier, a popular spot for teens in those days. I mean, what would make you think that? Well, anything. If you're going to say this is possible, then you can say anything. It's possible, too, that a fight broke out, but if that happened, she said it would have had to be other persons who started it because her brother was a lover, not a fighter. I just want them to do something, Stefano said about the police investigation. It's like they forgot about him. Captain Matt Lutke with the Lucas County Sheriff's Office said the case isn't closed. Man, I wonder if they can test those shell casings for DNA at this point. And according to records, officers looked at it again in 1981, 87, and 2000. They've gone back to it a couple times, probably after other shooting cases, and then they compare the ballistics, something like that. He said the case was before Lutke's time at the sheriff's office, and he could not give specific details about what investigating officers had done in their attempts to solve the crime. It's not uncommon for families to get upset at police's lack of progress in cold cases, Lutke said, and it's not that police aren't trying. Often, it just comes down to evidence or lack thereof. Sometimes police have a suspect, but not enough evidence. Let's see. The DeStefano's uncle, Jim Highmore, believes he knows who killed his nephew. Sometime after the murder, while at a party, Highmore heard a man make a comment about a fight he was in, referencing a possible shooting and the name Halka, which was the surname of the DeStefano's mother and stepfather. Maybe Highmore thought the man had mistakenly thought the youth's name was Halka, not DeStefano. Shortly after, the man abruptly quit his job and left town. At the time, Highmore gave the information to the detectives, but he never heard anything more about it. Their family used to be big. DeStefano used to be big. Their family used to be big, DeStefano said. They'd all moved from Connecticut to Ohio and lived in a big house on Lyon Road. There were 6 of them, the 4 children, and the mother, Billy Halka, and stepfather, Mike Halka. And in the 2 years after their house was built, but before the murder, they were happy. Now she's the only one left. I blame my older brother's death on Mark's death, she said. Her older brother, Michael DeStefano, died of a heart defect, but never learned how to emotionally deal with his brother's death. He partied hard and never talked about it. Their mother died in 2013, and that's probably the hardest part, DeStefano said. She was broken in the years after her son's death, and all she wanted was for his murder to be solved. My soul will never rest, DeStefano said. My soul will never rest. See, isn't that crazy? Like, there's one of those cases that you'll never hear about on any, no, it's just, people just aren't really that interested sometimes. I don't know. But, hey, guys, we only need, what is it? 1, 2... there were 2 short of getting 5 coffees, and then I'll donate 5 memberships myself, even though we're not close to the normal goal where I would do that. I'm just trying to make things happen. Do you guys think you can do that? Yeah. Yeah, so this is just, at least they're still talking about it as of even 6 years ago. This was sort of interesting here, what the uncle heard. All right. Well, there's that one. And then we're going to do, I guess, This one, Linda K. Carroll. These are really old ones here. There's hardly anything on this. And even when she went missing, there wasn't really a ton. But these ones are missing persons. Let's see. Okaloosa County Sheriff Department officials are continuing an investigation into the mysterious disappearance of a Crestview woman. Linda K. Carroll, 24, has been missing for more than a month, and sheriff officials are organizing a third major search party this weekend. Carroll was last seen at about 8:30 p.m. September 25th when a male coworker dropped her off at her home after work. So Linda K. Carroll, 24, has been missing for more than a month, and sheriff officials are organizing a third major search party this weekend. Carroll was last seen at 8:30 p.m. September 25th when a male coworker dropped her off at her home. Well, how do we know, see, that's where it gets like, how do you know he dropped her off? Sheriff Sergeant Jim, well, I think he did, though, because of the way this is, well, I mean, how do we, I guess he could be the one that dropped her off, but he also stayed there. When a male coworker dropped her off at home after work, Sheriff Sergeant Jim Griffith said Thursday. About a half hour later, neighbors reported hearing screaming from Carroll's home, followed by the sound of a vehicle speeding away from the house. So how do we know that that's not the same guy that dropped him off? Sheriff First Sergeant Bill Welsh said members of the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Department, mounted posse, other law enforcement officials, and citizens will meet Sunday at 9 a.m. at the Sheriff's Crestview office next to the county jail to begin the search on the Elgin Reservation. Sheriff officials are giving few details of Carroll's disappearance, but said there were no signs of fighting or blood found at her Kingston Road home. There was no physical evidence that you usually would expect to find at a crime scene, Griffith said. Griffith said Carroll and her husband, Dennis W. Carroll, had been separated. Well, that's another element. For about 2 months, and that he living in Meridian, Mississippi, with the couple's 2 children. That's what it says, that he living. Not, it should have said he was or something. He has been extensively questioned, Griffith said. Carroll was in the process of talking with divorce attorneys. Well, that's going to be the answer then. And maybe the husband was actually following her and then sees her dropped off by a coworker, and that really set him off at that point. But hey, guys, any chance we can get those other last 2? We just need 2 $5 donations, and then I'll donate 5, and then Lisa Valenzuela is sending 5 coffees. I guess I could just send 5 in and at least reach that goal. I mean, this is crazy. Carroll was in the process of talking with divorce attorneys at the time of her disappearance, but that no court proceedings had been held. She has not yet gone to court for custody, he said. Griffith said the woman was in desperate need of money and that she had no electricity in her car. Therefore, it is unusual that she would leave an unclaimed paycheck at her place of employment. It is just not in her character for her to do the things that have happened, he said. She was described by several people as being shy. Hey, thanks, Bakalula. Yeah, we're currently at about 40% of a normal nightly goal, if you can believe it. Investigators have not been able to find anyone who has talked to her since Carroll in the last month. Well, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. Again, jeez. I'm going to we'll do 5 just to do something. Just so it looks in my head better on the screen. Oh, you sent something in, Gemini? Let's see. I'll check. Alright, let's see. Investigators have not been able to find anyone who's talked or seen to Carol in the last month. She has not even contacted her mother and stepfather. It's got to be that. The husband. I mean, it's just so cliche almost. Supposed to be right there. There it is. Okay. He said, anyone who knows her or her husband, whether they have seen them or not, I would like to talk with them, Griffiths said. Griffiths said search parties have already looked in the Silver Lake and Old Bethel cemetery areas, both located in Crestview, but have not found any clues to the woman's disappearance. Welsh did not want to say specifically which area of the Elgin Reservation would be searched Sunday, saying they did not want to give out that information ahead of time. Griffiths said, we are praying that she's not dead, but we don't go out and search woods and sides of roads for live people. We expect the worst and are hoping for the best. So that was 1984, and then there was no other articles that I could find in newspapers.com. There could have been one in other sources until 2021 here. I guess we'll have to see if... Oh yeah, so that's right. These are just short references in here. All right, so let me open that again. Yeah, so it's just this part down here. Because there's multiple people in here. It says Linda Kay Carroll's family also has been left with questions after she disappeared at the age of 24 in 1984. She had a 4-year-old daughter, that's something we hadn't heard, and 2-year-old son at the time, saying who got the kids at that point? The father. I mean, I think this is just so obvious they probably just never could prove anything. The young mother of 2 was last seen, it almost is like My Father's Alibi, right? I mean, it's the same thing, right? She had a, which question was that? Investigators found the bed sheets missing on her bed and human hair on a striker plate. Let's see. She had a 4-year-old daughter, a 2-year-old son at the time. The young mother of 2 was last seen at her home on Kingston Road. Investigators found the bed sheets missing. Oh, man, so on her bed, and she probably was strangled to death then. And human hair on a striker plate of a door jamb. Dennis Carroll, her husband, was the primary suspect in the case, but investigators never found enough evidence, there you go, to charge him. He died of cancer in 2014. Oh, boy. That sucks. And then 2024, there was an article just on just regular... I wanted to look at this one, though. This was on in this article, I think. Okay, Carol 24. Oh, there you go. We can actually put in. There she is right there. Let's get where she lived. She lived at Carroll 24 Box 550. Oh, that's just that's not really an address, right? Box 51. So it's just 551 Kingston 24. That's just her mailing address. Is the missing woman for 7 hours Sunday. More than 30 men searched a broad area surrounding Carroll's home and found nothing. According to Sergeant Griffith, the Sheriff's Department, the large-scale hunt was conducted in the Kentucky Lakes area. Griffith said Carroll was last seen about 8:30 p.m. Tuesday, September 25th, after she was given a ride home from her job at Shell Farms, Inc., a poultry packing plant near Defuniak Springs. About 30 minutes later, some neighbors heard screams coming from her house and the sounds of a car accelerating away. Carroll was supposed to ride to work the next morning, but was not at home, Griffith said. The woman's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bud Heller of Pensacola, reported Carroll missing September 27th. Griffith would not confirm or deny whether authorities found signs of violence at Carroll's house, saying the premature release of such information could harm an investigation underway. Yeah, okay. And then he said he did say Carroll's purse is missing. Then asked whether authorities fear Carroll was murdered, Griffith referred the question to his superior, First Sergeant Bill Welsh. Circumstances surrounding her disappearance are of a suspicious nature, Welsh said. We've not ruled out foul play, but neither do we have any evidence to justify that conclusion. I mean, this is such a common cause of murder. It's crazy. This type of... this is... I mean, how many cases have we gone over that have had this same thing? It was just like that one I went to. Remember the one in Salem where I drove over there? Similar. They weren't married. He was married and he was dating this other... or having sex with this other lady. And she had a baby and they were keeping it quiet. And then the government said, no, you got to get the money. We're not going to give you any money. You got to get it from the dad. And the dad was going to have to pay something like $900 a month. And so before, having to tell anybody about it, he killed his child and the wife, or the girlfriend. And then he, yeah, that was crazy. Remember where the body was way up in the woods, up in the mountains? At the time of her disappearance, her 3 children were living out of state with their father. Oh, so what would be the point then? Was he going to try to get custody? Okay, see, according to Griffith, Carroll has a 4-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son, but was living alone. At the time of her disappearance, her children were living out of state with their father, Welsh said. Welsh acknowledged the missing woman has an estranged husband, Dennis Carroll, living in Meridian, Mississippi. Asked whether the Sheriff's Department has questioned the estranged husband, Welsh replied, numerous people have been interviewed in connection with their disappearance. He would not give the names of anyone questioned. Griffith gave the following description of Carroll: 5'4", 110 pounds, etc. Yeah, that part's kind of... because usually it's about... but maybe she was going to try to get custody... or maybe, like, I don't know. That one's... usually it's when the woman has the babies, the children, and the dad doesn't want to pay child support for 20 years or 18 years. Investigators found the bed sheets missing and human hair on the door jamb. Over the years, time stole many things from her family. One thing it could never take though was their hope. Oh, okay. Well, hey, thanks, Gemini. I didn't know what you were saying. I thought I was going to go check my email or something, but I see what you're saying. Sorry about that. I guess I missed the second part of your comment. Gemini. You know, I feel like every girl I've ever dated was a Gemini. Isn't that weird? Like, I would say 80%. I don't know why, but I'm a Libra. I think they make a good match or something. That's what I thought too, Gray. It's usually about custody, but all right. Yeah. So let's see. Over the years, time stole many things from the family. One thing it could never take, though, was their hope. You'll be out on the street, see somebody that has a feature that looks like her, and then there's hope. You just can't help but have it. Well, obviously, she's not alive. She wouldn't have left her kids. Linda's youngest sister, Cheryl Penrod, said. And then it says, investigators say despite the decades, there's still a way to find out what happened in 1984. Linda was living alone at the time of her disappearance. Her family said her estranged husband, Dennis Carroll, took their two young kids, aged 4 and 2, one night earlier that summer and fled to Tennessee. Okay, that changes things. Because now this is something he just took. And eventually he probably thought she was going to get custody back, especially after doing that. And then he would start owing. So that brings that whole thing back on the table now, right? In September 1984, law enforcement reports Dennis Carroll took a road trip. Oh, jeez. Senior investigators Michael Kruger from the Oclusa County Sheriff's Office said Carroll told his mother he went straight from Tennessee to Mississippi. Is that where? Hold on. This is Florida, though. Okay. There it is right there. Okay, went straight from Tennessee to Mississippi. However, Kruger said Carroll stopped in Florida that night. Oh, boy. Carroll admitted going to Linda's house. Oh, this is stupid. It's going to be just like my father's alibi, isn't it? Hey, thanks, Bruce Holdaway, for the Lol Buster.
Lol Buster. To gluten-free cigarettes. Great. You funny bastard. Smiley face emoji. Playful face emoji.
Yeah. Thanks for the Lol busting. Look at this. This is going to be just like... what is her name? Oh, man, my brain just went... Oh, Galvani, yeah. It's going to be just like Nancy Galvani. Watch this next. I may have even read this yet, but I can see where it was going. Carroll admitted going to Linda's house after he drove on September 25th. Okay, hold on a second. We got to go back. 28. And then what's that first one? Carroll was last seen at about 8:30 p.m. on September 25th when a male coworker dropped her off. And then what does it say? Look at this. Carroll admitted, the husband admitted to going to Linda's house on September 25th and letting himself in, but says he could not find Linda, so he left. How in the hell? You took this to a jury, they would convict the guy. You got to be kidding me. A co-worker in Tennessee told deputies Dennis Carroll had questioned him about using ether or chloroform to put somebody to sleep. Why hasn't this gone to trial already? This is stupid. You know, yes, you don't have any... look, he admits to being there. After questioning, of course. After Linda disappeared, investigators say, look at right here, it says, Dennis had questioned him about using ether or chloroform to put somebody to sleep. After Linda's disappearance, investigators say Dennis Carroll never inquired about locating his wife. This is exactly like Nancy Galvani's case. I mean, literally the same case. Except they didn't have internet back then, so he asked a friend about ether and chloroform. Isn't that amazing? Holy crap. Their son said after Linda's disappearance, investigators say Dennis Carroll never inquired about locating his wife. Just like Nancy Galvani's husband at the time, he didn't look for her after she didn't show up to pick up Allison. Yeah, their son said he found a woman's purse underneath their trailer. Let's see, their son. After Linda's disappearance, investigators say Dennis Carroll never inquired about locating his wife. Their son said he found a woman's purse underneath their trailer when he was very young, and that his father made several statements over the years about how to get rid of someone without being caught. Jeez. I mean, why not give it a shot? You know what I mean? Well, he's dead, though, right? This article here is saying, okay, we know who did it. There isn't somebody else. To mark the 40th anniversary of Linda's disappearance, her youngest sisters are getting a tattoo. Cheryl Penrod and Donna Stevens are the youngest of the family's 5 children. Donna often wonders if Linda was alive, would we all be this close? She and Cheryl were just kids when their eldest siblings disappeared. They were only able to watch on their mother as their mother looked high and low for her firstborn. She would just jump up and go search somewhere, Cheryl said. I wonder if the kids are probably, the 2 surviving kids are probably both on the mom's side, I would imagine. I couldn't imagine going through, they should ask, like, how did he treat you guys? I couldn't imagine going through what she went through and still having children at home, making sure we still have clean clothes and lunch money. Her love and strength is something Cheryl and Donna admire now as adults. In years past, they got tattoos honoring Linda, such as Sisters for Sisters. With the 40th anniversary being milestone, the pair wanted to do something different. I told Cheryl maybe this year we could honor Mom. Let's see if there's anything down here. After 40 years, finding Linda is now the focus. Well, I mean, would he be underneath that porch? Dennis Carroll died denying he had anything to do with Linda's disappearance, and Kruger said hearsay won't fly as fact. Well, it's not hearsay that he was there, though, right? It's him saying that. Although, at this point, they should just close the case and, just say that he did it. However, let's see. Dennis Carroll died denying he had anything to do with Linda's disappearance, and Kruger said hearsay won't fly as fact. One thing, however, did strike him as odd. He never called in to inquire if his wife was ever found, he said. That's very strange to us. That would be, to me, even if you're not still together, someone you did love is missing, you'd still kind of wonder what happened to them. To top it all off, Linda's sister said Dennis never told their kids about the disappearance. Instead, they say Dennis told the young children their mother abandoned them, of course. It wasn't, this is Nancy Galvani's case, right? Have you guys noticed, like, that is exactly the same. I mean, remember how he said stuff to her, to Allison, about how shitty the mom was. Man, that's crazy. I should send her this story. To top it all off, Linda's sister said Dennis never told their kids. Dennis never told their kids about the disappearance. I forgot who Linda was in this story. Who's Linda? To mark the 40th anniversary of Linda's disappearance, her younger... Well, Linda, yeah, but how could Linda say that? To mark her youngest sisters are getting a tattoo. Well, Linda's the person, so why is it talking about it down here? To top it all off, Linda's sisters... Oh, her sisters. Okay. Said Dennis never told their kids about the disappearance. Instead, they say Dennis told the young children their mother abandoned them. It wasn't until Linda's family found the children many years later that they learned their mother disappeared in 1984 and their dad is the primary suspect. Wow. If we had more evidence that would point to someone else, we'd be looking for that. But at this point, everything kind of leads to him or points to him, at least, Kruger said. The unfair part is he can't defend himself, so we really can't say that he did it without... Well, I mean, you don't have evidence. He was there that day. I mean, she's alive, and one random day, the ex-husband drives, all those miles and goes through the state of Florida for, no reason at all. She dies on the same day she goes missing. And you stole her 2 kids. Yeah. The evidence isn't there. The guy has passed, so it's just something we hope now we can find her body, Cheryl said. The chances of that aren't very good either. Yeah, especially since he didn't ever call to say, hey, did you find it? He probably knew you're never going to find it. I'm not even looking to get anyone in trouble anymore. I'm not looking for justice. We just want her body, Donna said. That's all we have left to hope for is to be able to bury her before we die, Cheryl added. You can, and that's why these missing person cases are the worst, especially missing and presumed dead. You can help Linda's family find closure by sharing any information you may have with the Okaloosa County Sheriff. I think this is, well, let's see. I have a folder here that had a bunch of, so there was this was in here. I don't know what this was. So this is Linda. And I'm not really sure what this note was, but it said, I went to do laundry, onto the laundromat in Baker. I will be back as soon as I finish. Please wait for me. Sorry I wasn't here Sunday, Linda. Let me see if I can figure out what... It was this article. Yeah, it's not really opening. Yeah, so these are the ones that were in an article. That's her. Apparently that was their house. Must be family members. That's her again. And there's the one I read. Crazy, huh? All right, let's see if we can get like 5 more 5s, and maybe that's what I was told to do. Let's see. I'll try a goal. Let's see. 5 in 15 minutes. All right, there we go. Can we do that one? Something small. Man. Oh, thanks, Lisa. And thanks to Ivo. Appreciate that. Wow, all the way over in Croatia for the PayPal there. All right, you guys, let's go. I got one more case to do. We got to get this goal here, and then we'll do that. You guys aren't interested? Yeah, it's pretty mean that he would say that. All right, I'll just save this one for tomorrow. Brutal. All right, we got... well, there's Jessica Schubach. If we can do 4 more, we'll do it. Thanks, Jessica. I've already been on her for 3 hours. But I did have another one. I mean, this is just crazy. Yeah, we've had so many cases like that. But man, it's very similar to my father's alibi, other than that unique deal with the 2 people with the same name. Hey, there's 2, you guys. 3 more, and we'll do this other case up here. All right, there's 2 more now. Is it possible? Is it possible, you guys? And we're only at 60% of just a normal basic night. So, you know, I'm just trying to get some extra somehow. We just need 2 more. Okay, there's one. One more. Thanks, Sandy Shirley. Thanks, Lisa Valenzuela, Bruce Holdaway, and Jessica Schubach.
Last time, ocean wave emoji, ocean wave emoji, ocean.
And even though, like, the channel memberships count, so I just add those to the. That was just one left up there. I can't adjust that thing though. Doom, 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 doom. I was thinking of doing Kanika Jenkins stuff. I'm getting a lot of views on, not a lot of views, but some views on my, for some reason, Kanika Jenkins' mom is back in the news. Because apparently the $3.5 million she got in the lawsuit, she blew through that and now has nothing to lose, so now is trying to stoke up bullshit again. And even a lot of people following her have been calling her out. All right, guys, we need one more. One more 5, and then we'll do another case. We're running out of time. We have 10 minutes left. I have all the surveillance footage and everything. I just put it into a different hard drive. Who's going to be the hero, you guys, and get the extra 5? That looks like Bruce Holdaway had to do it again because other people just couldn't be bothered. I'm never eating again. What are you going to get? Yeah. Thank you.
I never eat again. Grey O.
I'm never eating again. All right. Here we go. Here's the next one. This one is Andrea Durham. She kind of looks familiar, but I don't remember covering it. I didn't find her name anywhere. Let's see. Oh yeah, her name's only in there because. Yeah, I just put it there, right there. Okay. All right, here we go. Hey, you guys. I can't believe we made that little mini goal right there. That's pretty cool. It's a miracle. All right, here we go. For 54 frantic days, I couldn't find her name mentioned before that, though. And relentless nights, Roseanne Sterling has anguished over her missing 13-year-old daughter. 13 years old is kind of when sometimes kids run away, but it's also the same age where the predators are out there. She doesn't know whether the 8th grader is alive or dead, whether she has run away or been kidnapped, or whether she's safe or in danger. Okaloosa County Sheriff, so we're back in that same area. This is 1990. Okaloosa County Sheriff's Department investigators also don't know what happened to the teenager who vanished February 1st from her right home. I never thought it was going to be this long, Sterling said Friday, as another week passed without any definitive news indicating something or someone has seen Andrea. But maybe there's a little hope. At least I haven't gotten any bad news. Andrea apparently took nothing from the apartment she shared with her mother and her 16-year-old sister, Ashia, Ashya. Andrea's pocketbook, money, clothes, and makeup all remain untouched in her bedroom. There was no sign of a struggle. With each passing day, Sterling, 37, is becoming more worried. She simply cannot believe that Andrea disappeared voluntarily without a trace. She doesn't have the sophistication to plan something like that, Sterling said. She can't go from the bathroom to her bedroom without leaving a trail. Okaloosa investigator Larry Donald's son said he's also perplexed. We have kids who run away and stay gone a long time, he said, but we know they're runaways because they leave a note or tell someone. This one, I couldn't call it one way or another. I don't know what to think. Donaldson said he gets calls on Andrea every day, but it's not just from people who know her, he said. It's from people who've seen pictures of her. So you don't really know if they've seen her or just think they have. Sterling and her ex-husband Larry Durham of Pensacola launched an extensive search when Andrea disappeared. We've actively looked anytime we, and then I guess it goes to 8 here. We get even the faintest lead, Durham said. We can't afford not to check every lead, but they also seem to be dead ends. So far, most of the reported sightings have come from Okaloosa County and the Holly Navarre area in Santa Rosa County. But recently, there have been a few calls from Pensacola and from Perdita Key, so the family plans to expand their hunt. Andrea has been... so here's the story part of it. Andrea had been home alone the evening of February 1st. She had promised to do her homework and vacuum while her mother and sister attended a meeting from about 7:45 to 9:15, so an hour and a half. But when Sterling and Ashia returned, they found the apartment door unlocked and the vacuum in the middle of the living room. And Andrea missing. So it's weird. It's almost like in the middle of vacuuming, somebody came in and, or she was vacuuming, opened the door, and then was abducted or something. Like she's vacuuming, the door's knocked on, and then she answers the door, and then that person, takes them and then just shuts the door and doesn't lock it, right? Because he would think it would be locked while she was in there vacuuming. Andrea knew not to leave home without leaving a note. Let's see. Sterling, a senior planner at Caltech, a defense supply manufacturing plant, first assumed Andrea was outside, perhaps talking with friends. Andrea knew not to leave home without leaving a note, Sterling said, as she didn't go anywhere without her makeup. But when Andrea didn't turn up immediately, Sterling called the sheriff's department. She told investigators that Andrea probably had run away like several of her friends had in the past. Sterling admitted that Andrea was facing several problems that may have seemed overwhelming, including a move to a new school and a date in juvenile court for a minor brush with the law. At the end of January, Sterling had become concerned that Andrea was hanging out with the wrong crowd, a group of older kids who seemed to be in constant trouble. Sterling and her daughter had moved to a new apartment across town at the end of January so Andrea could get away from the crowd. The move meant that Andrea would be going to Pryor Middle School instead of Bruner Middle School, something she didn't want to do. February 1st was Andrea's first day at her new school. So the first day at her new school, she disappeared. So was it somebody from her old school? I don't know. Sterling, Durham, and other family members have searched every day. This is 1990, so that means for 35 years she's been missing. 36. Let's see. They have distributed hundreds of posters. Sterling, Durham, and other family members have searched every day for Andrea. They've questioned Andrea's friends, all of whom have sworn they have no idea what happened to her. They've hired a private investigator. They've searched beaches and campgrounds. They staked out the Whitesnake concert where the heavy metal band performed in Pensacola on March 21st. Caltech Fort Walton Beach radio station and an anonymous business are offering $3,100 in rewards. Sterling said he's hoping that her daughter isn't coming home simply because she thinks she's in trouble for staying far away so long. She's not in any trouble. We can't undo, she said. We miss her. I wish there was some way I could get that across to her. That was March 27th, 1980. 1980? Hold on. 1990. Yeah. And then... So I guess that one's a little... Why is it like that? March... Why is that one... Oh, because it says 80 on it. Okay, that one should have been later. So this is an earlier one here. Okay, that makes sense. I accidentally put 80 on there. I'm going to put 90. Right, and then that makes it so we've already done those two. Alright. So this is like 2 weeks after she went missing here. So the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Department is asking the public for help in the search for a Fort Walton Beach teenager who disappeared from her mother's apartment 2 weeks ago. Andrea Durham, 13, didn't take any clothes, money, or other belongings with her when she vanished from her home between 7:45 and 9:15 p.m. February 1st, Sheriff investigators Boosie Albright said. let's see. February 1st, Sheriff Investigator Boosie Albright said. Albright said investigators have no indication of foul play, but she said it's unusual for a child of this age to be gone this long without hearing from her, at least having a concrete report of a sighting. Albright is working on the case full time. In addition, Sheriff spokesman Rick Horde said, "We've talked to dozens of friends and acquaintances. We've got all our patrol cars looking. The 8th grader is 5'3", 110 pounds, with dark blonde shoulder-length hair and green eyes. She was wearing jeans and a black sweater when she disappeared. The teenager has relatives in Pensacola." All right, so that was the 15th, and then March 2nd, which is before the first article we read. This is just the reward is $2,000. It says Fort Walton Beach radio station 99 KISS FM. Andrea Durham vanished from her mother's apartment in Ocean City, City Right area, and Okaloosa County Sheriff's Department investigator has worked on the case daily, but there have been no leads on her whereabouts. Durham is 5'3", 110 pounds, with dark blonde, shoulder-length hair and green eyes. Posters with her photograph have been distributed. All right, then this one is from April 28th, 1990. That's just another update. So this is, about a month after the first article that we read. The mother of Fort Walton Beach girl who's been missing since February 1st has no new information. Roseanne Sterling said the past week has been especially depressing because her daughter Andrea Durham turned 14 on Tuesday. Sterling said she recently found a tennis shoe in an abandoned trailer. It matched one Andrea was wearing when she disappeared, but she couldn't be sure if it belonged to her. Well, I hope you kept it, because maybe you could check the DNA in it. She said little else had happened. There's been a pretty steep drop in tips. That'd be a great item for law enforcement to test for DNA as an investigative lead, not necessarily trying to find, the killer. You're just saying, oh, wow, so that was her shoe found inside that. That'd be interesting. She said little else has happened. There's been pretty steep drop-off in tips. There's a $3,100 reward. Nothing's happening there. And then it just disappeared in the newspaper, and then again, then all of a sudden, 2021, that's where this one came up. We didn't do this one, right? I mean, I remember looking at it, but oh, that's right. This is just the same situation as it's just a portion that talks about her. All right, it says Andrea Durham was 13 when she disappeared from her family's apartment near Fort Walton Beach in 1990. The day she went missing, Andrea was vacuuming the apartment at the Royal Apartments while her mother and sister left to go to a meeting. When they returned, the vacuum was in the middle of the floor and Andrea was gone and the front door was unlocked. So there you go. That was the last one there. I mean, see, those are depressing, right? The last one is obvious. There's actually been a murder by the ex-husband, and he's dead now. So it's might not ever get solved. This one, I don't know, man. What do you guys think? It seems like she got moved to a different school, so I could see her saying, I'm going to run away. I want to be with those people. But it's weird because it sounds like she was in the middle of vacuuming and somebody knocked on the door and she goes over to answer it. I mean, so, okay, picture it so the vacuum wasn't on, But she was in the middle of vacuuming, heard the door knock, turned off the vacuum, walked over to the front door, unlocked it, opened it up, and then she disappeared. And then when whoever took her or wherever it went, they shut the door behind them. And that's it. Doesn't that make the most sense right there? Now, was it planned? Was she vacuuming as they were exiting and almost immediately the person comes over? Now, maybe she met some really older guy and then that person ended up killing her. Maybe she got pregnant or something. And I mean, she might have lived for quite a while after that. Yeah, she hung out with the bad crowd too. All right, well, look at that, you guys. That was a 3 hour and 28-minute show. But I thought it was actually felt kind of good to cover some of those old types again. You've got, because we had a good mix, right? We did the Candace Owens stuff for a while. We did the update on the DC shooting, and then jumped into some old missing person and, murder cases. All right. Yeah. I thought the show was pretty good. It's just kind of, I don't know. It seems so difficult. But thanks, Brooke Ruff, right out of the gate. C. Daly. Then we had Steve Connerly. And Steve Connerly gifted a membership. Then we had Bruce Holdaway, Wild Bill Wassman, Crazy Lady, Sandy Shirley. A couple times. Or Sandy Shirley gifted a membership. Then a super chat. Then Michelle H. Then Sandy Shirley. Then Bakalula gifted a membership. Then Wild Bill Wassman gifted one. Then I gifted... let's see. Yeah, then I gifted 5. Then Bruce Holdaway. Then Jessica Schubach. Bruce Holdaway. Lisa Valenzuela. Sandy Shirley. And Bruce Holdaway. So thanks everybody for the ones who supported there. And then we also had Lisa Valenzuela with the coffees, and also the Croatian legend. And by the way, if you're watching, Drazen Petrovic was like my all-time favorite NBA player. Best shooter you've ever seen. He shot like a robot, man. He was like, he'd come down and it's just like ding. I mean, just absolutely like it was the same every single time. Oh, is that you? Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if Bakalula, so that's you. I would have sent the PayPal in. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, but Drazen Petrovic, he's probably like almost a god over there, isn't he? I mean, he's just... I don't think there's ever been a player anywhere near as good as him from anywhere in that whole area since him. I mean, I guess if you're saying the same area, maybe, I'm not sure where in like Doncic and shit, my brain's fried. But I loved Drazen Petrovic. He scored 100 and remember Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 in a game. Well, Drazen scored 112 in a Yugoslavian league game. Yeah, Kukoc wasn't anywhere near as good as Drazen was. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't even close. Kukoc just got lucky. He was on the team with the Bulls. Drazen was scoring 23 a game with New Jersey with a bunch of ball hogs on the team. He still scored 23 because he shot so good. Yeah, but Drazen scored 112 in a Yugoslavian league game, and he was 40 for 60 from the field. I mean, that's incredible. And a lot of threes in there, too. One of the best outside shooters I've ever seen. Yeah, Kukoc was just lucky, his career I don't think would have been anywhere near that if he was on just some random team. Drazen, so he was on the Blazers in 89-90 and then part of 90-91, but he wasn't going to get to play very much. Yeah, he wasn't going to get to play, so they just to be nice to him, because we had Clyde Drexler, he wasn't going to get very many minutes, so they traded him out of kindness, Then he went to the Jersey Nets. I think he averaged like 14, maybe 11 or something that first year total, because he had to put in the same half of the season with the Blazers where he didn't get to play. And then the next year he averaged, I think, 19 or 20, and then 23 points a game. Then he got killed in a car accident when he was he would come down and trash talk Jordan. And you go watch interviews with people today, they'll tell you that he's the best shooter they've ever seen. He literally... I think if Drazen played today, he'd probably be one of the most sought-after players you could imagine. He was he was just like a robot. He would shoot 46% or something from threes. He was just incredible. Remember Reggie Miller? Reggie Miller said... He actually said that if they asked him, who would you pick to take the last shot of it, hit a three to win a game? And he just thought for just a moment. He goes, Drazen Petrovic. And then he went on to explain. It's just, it was amazing. The fact that somebody like that would even bring that up, it tells you that. Yeah, I saw that one with Reggie. Miller said that too. Yeah, he mentioned how it was a different interview, but he was talking about, he didn't smell very good. But he would trash talk Jordan. He'd come down and go, hey, watch this one. Boom, right in his face, And here's how good he was. Remember the Dream Team, you guys? With Jordan, Clyde, Barkley, Magic, Bird, the whole, all those guys, right? Drazen scored 22 against them in the Olympics. You're talking about he scored 22 against the greatest team that's ever been and defensive players. And he just came down and just lit them up. It was amazing. So that just shows you how good he was. He wasn't some... Yeah, he had Stockton, Malone... what the hell's that center's name? Never really... The Knicks center, what the hell is his name? From Georgetown. I don't know why... It's weird I can remember that stuff, but not his name. No, yeah, Ewing. There he is. Yeah. Yeah, Robinson was on there too, though. And then we also had Christian Laettner. And Laettner should have been a really good NBA player. He just was put on the absolute worst team possible for his game. He was like a Larry Bird type. He should have been a really good player. He got screwed by the system. Yeah, they put one college player on that team. That was him. Well, let's see.
Wide open.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me see some of these right there. There he is. God, he's just like a machine. All the angles and everything. There was no flash. Oh, he did do some like weird behind the back passes. Look at him. He was just so cool, man. Yeah, that was such a good team that year. The New Jersey Nets. I followed every single game that they played. Where's the, let's see. Players discussing Drazen. Let's see what they say. Oh yeah, like these guys. Let's hear, I'll play it.
Drazen Petrovic. That motherfucker give me nightmares.
Who's in this seat talking about him?
Drazen Petrovic. That motherfucker give me nightmares. I'd rather guard motherfucking Black Jesus, Michael Jordan,
really,
than guard that motherfucker.
Shit.
God. Killer.
You know, Curry is the GOAT of all shooters. You know, look, I'll give him all that. But before him, man, you could be this close to the mic. You could be this close to him.
Didn't matter.
And not only is he giving it off, he's telling you about it too.
Oh, you talking shit to you?
What?
You have good English or broken English?
How cool that is,
broken good English. Oh.
Yeah, you don't know what the hell he's saying, but that head just bobbing. He's talking shit.
Giving it to you.
Killing you.
Giving it to you.
Treat that motherfucker
Look,
like Mike.
I didn't get frustrated against a lot of players. This dude was the best shooter, catch and shoot, 1 dribble, 2 dribble. He did not miss.
That's
now,
when he
literally. And I said to myself, how in the hell was he not playing in Portland? But you had Clyde there.
Right.
When he got to New Jersey, good Lord. Good Lord.
Oh, look at that. It's like a
God rest
machine.
his soul. Smelled terrible.
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord.
Smelled
See, there's that part Bakalula was
that's
talking
the
about.
foreign
And
shit.
you had to be all on him.
Oh,
That's
smell
the
like
foreign
shit.
He ain't the only
If
one that had it. I
Am
played
I
with some.
wrong, Max?
On the arm hit you ain't gonna be like that all
Max,
night. You can
am I
take
wrong?
a shower, that shit still gonna be with you. He stinks like a
Come on, man. And so not only is he giving it to you, talking shit to you, but after the game,
You gonna
I mean,
smell
your
it.
teammates are like, damn,
That's
what
you?
Come on, Sandy. Jesus. What kind of a... You make some crazy comments sometimes. Let's see if there's another one. Oh, yeah.
You coach somebody that could have been one of the best ever, and obviously died in a car accident, Petrovic.
Petrovic could do it off the move, maybe better than anybody I've ever seen. He could fly from one baseline to the other, turn, catch, shoot, swish it, and then land in the other team's bench and make it look like incredibly easy. He had amazing, strong legs, and the guy was a machine the way he worked at shooting.
Yeah, see, that's what I said. He was a machine. He used to do these things where he set up a chair. I actually got to watch him practice here in Portland. Like, he'd set up a chair and just go one after another. Go around the chair and shoot, around the chair, shoot, around the chair, shoot, around the chair, shoot, around the chair, shoot. Just forever. And his technique on his shot it was so compact and just like, it wasn't random. I mean, it was...
His mechanics were perfect. And
now, there you go.
Stand out there and shoot, you know. I'll give you another guy. We had Stojakovic with us the year we won the championship in Dallas. One day after practice, I watched Stojakovic make 96 out of 100 threes. I mean, fucking unbelievable, you know?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But Petro was the guy that could have done that. It's one of the things about life, you know. Sometimes you only get a peek at, you know, true greatness from a couple of guys.
Man, that's crazy.
Drazen.
Oh, that was gonna be the same interview.
There was one dude. For those of you who do not know who Drazen Petrovic is, and I tell people this, you know, Curry.
Where's the one where he talks about? Let's see. This is Steve Kerr.
He dropped 30 on me.
I think that's cool. Like this is probably something a lot of you never even heard of before, right? Yeah. Now look at Jordan. Even let's see what he said. I know that there was a comment that he said. This is one I was looking.
All right, for those of you who do.
Nah, it was another interview that he had. I actually made a shirt with his name on it, and I wore it for years playing in the parks after he died. I was just... sucked.
In 1989 as a member of the Portland Trailblazers. After a year of mostly coming off the bench there, he was traded to the then New Jersey Nets, where he became a starter and transformed into one of the league's.
Yeah. Anyways. All right, you guys. I think that's going to do it. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow we can, try to reach a goal. We're getting close to our last night of the month, and just kind of limping mightily into that day. But thanks for all those who supported the channel and everybody else who's watching. Hit the like button, etc. Thank you. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen. Hey, Bakalula, I'm sure you smell just fine, all right? I'm not sure what the hell Sandy's talking about. I've met a lot of Europeans that don't smell. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I have a temper fucking jack show. I have no agenda, I'm a agenda. And I'll serve it to you straight out of wonder. And in the end, and I'm a sender on a mission to reveal the true offender. You're smoking again, huh, Mary Lou?
That's right, Gray. The new cigarettes with Retsin. The low-cal, gluten-free cigarettes with Retsin.
Man, those actually sound pretty good. Does Certs make them?
No, Gray, Certs doesn't. Wow.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're a candy, kind of a mint. Never mind. All right, thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys later, and be safe out there.
Correct.
Thank you for watching Grant Hughes Investigates, where we cover true crime using facts, logic, and reason. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, be safe out there. I was just reading Bakalula and Sandy Shirley's. I mean, you don't have to defend. That's just the craziest thing I've ever seen. But anyways, thanks you guys. Appreciate it.